This is Adelaide's FIVEaa.
Partly cloudy and 24 today with the 6 o'clock news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
FIVEaa Extra is a registered NDIS provider, so let them support you in achieving your goals. FIVEaAextra.com.
A man wanted over a Woodville West house fire last week will be extradited back from New South Wales today. The 32-year-old allegedly set fire to 3 people on Calendar Place. One later died in hospital. He fled the scene before being arrested in country New South Wales. He's remained in police custody since. He's expected to be charged with murder. The SES has given the all clear to 15 areas as the flooding threat eases across much of New South Wales. But Brett Williamson from the SES says people need to take care when returning to areas hit by flooding.
Depending on what's been picked up in the floodwater, the soils and their homes may be contaminated, so they need to be fairly heavily cleaned. If the structures of the buildings have been damaged or if things like power points have gone underwater.
While in Moree, major flooding is still occurring, but the Mehi River's peaked and is now dropping. Prime Minister Scott Morrison says he hasn't spoken to Brittany Higgins about rape allegations, despite more than a month passing since she went public. The former Liberal staffer quit last month and then alleged she'd been raped in Parliament House 2 years ago. Mr Morrison's told A Current Affair he's willing to have a discussion.
Why haven't you talked to her by now? It's been a month since she went public. Why wouldn't you talk to her?
I'd be very pleased to. She hasn't expressed an interest in doing that with me, but she's very welcome. Just I understand there's a letter together with a group of other women who'd like to talk to me about a range of things, and she'd be very welcome.
A report predicts it could take 25 years to close the gender pay gap based on current trends. Differences between executives are forecast to disappear within a decade, but it'll take longer for lower paid workers. Curtin Economics Centre's Alan Duncan says some industries will take longer than others.
The pace of change is such that for certain occupations in particular, we're very unlikely to see the gender pay gap eliminated at the same, if we continue at the same rate.
3,000 Commonwealth Bank staff could be in line to receive a combined $45 million. The finance sector union claims the staff are owed the money because the bank failed to provide 10-minute tea breaks. US President Joe Biden has doubled his administration's COVID vaccine target. More from Nine's Amelia Adams in the US.
On day 65 of his presidency, Joe Biden held his first White House press conference announcing a new goal, 200 million doses of COVID vaccines in his first 100 days. He addressed the surge of migrants at the US-Mexico border, insisting he's working to strengthen a system he says was dismantled by the Trump administration. On China, President Biden committed to holding Beijing accountable to follow international rules. He said the US will respond to North Korea's launch of ballistic missiles if the threats escalate, and asked whether he's planning to run for the White House again in 2024.
The answer is yes. My plan is to run for re-election. That's my expectation.
Prince Charles and Camilla are visiting Greece for 2 days, marking the pair's first foreign tour of the year. They're visiting to celebrate the bicentenary of Greek independence. The Prince of Wales says the two countries have a strong bond.
Today, as in 1821, Greece can count on her friends in the United Kingdom. The ties between us are strong and vital and make a profound difference to our shared prosperity and security.
Now turning to FIVEaa Sport.
Save up to $800 on selected Miele cooking appliances at Adelaide Appliance Gallery, home of Mr Dishwasher.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. A 6-goal opening term has set up Collingwood's 21-point win against Carlton at the MCG. Magpie Jordan De Goey led the way, finishing with 4 goals. The Blues now winless after 2 rounds, but coach David Teague isn't losing hope.
I have absolute belief in this group. We'll get there. I'm not going to lose any belief in this group. I think I know our fans will probably be a bit frustrated and they're hurting in there. They're disappointed, we all are, and the players especially, but from a belief point of view and what we know we can do, we've got a lot of work to do and we need to do it.
The round continues tonight with Geelong hosting Brisbane at GMHBA Stadium. Meantime, the teams will come out tonight ahead of tomorrow's matches for the Crows and Port Adelaide. The Crows to head to Sydney this morning, while the Power will have a light run at Adelaide Oval ahead of tomorrow's twilight clash against the Bombers. To rugby league, and the Penrith Panthers have beaten the Melbourne Storm 12-10 in last night's grand final rematch. In the NBL, Melbourne United's fought back to claim a thrilling 3-point win against the New Zealand Breakers. The Aussie Ash Barty's on court as she looks to kick off her Miami Open campaign in style. Games are now on serve, the Aussie leading 3-2. Earlier, Thanasi Kokonakis and Jordan Thompson both had wins, while Storm Sanders also won on the women's side. And in soccer, World Cup qualifiers continue this morning with England in action up against San Marino. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Audi Solitaire, Metro Dealer of the Year. Visit audisolitaire.com.au.
Partly cloudy and 24 today, a possible morning shower tomorrow, 22. Partly cloudy for Sunday, 23, and sunny on Monday up to 25. At the moment, 14. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
7 after 6, good morning to you. Welcome to Friday on 5AA Breakfast. We've got a massive program coming up on the way for you. It is Friday, so it's Meat Tray Friday. Didn't need a crystal ball to see that coming. We're asking you to look into your crystal ball for the meat tray today. Make a prediction. Earlier this week, the Oracle himself.
I'm going into the zone again, Will.
Penberthy. He started again. It's the talk of Adelaide at the moment. How does this bloke keep seeing into the future and making wild football predictions that come true? Keep.
I've only done it once, haven't I?
No, what about Brisbane?
Oh, that's true.
Don't think the punters have forgotten. That's for the meat tray this morning, so we'll talk more about that in a moment. Big thanks to Jimmy at Mr. Meats in Hindmarsh, but also coming up on the show.
Big week for guys called Jimmy. Sorry, you keep doing your job. I'll shut up for a few minutes.
We'll talk Jimmy's in just a moment. We're going to talk with a bloke called Simon Birmingham before 7 o'clock this morning. The Minister of Finance he also has carriage in his portfolios for parliamentary standards. Suddenly that's a bigger role than finance, I think, albeit there is a big financial statement that's being released today. We'll speak to him about both those things before 7 o'clock. After 7, there are now just 2 remaining DVD stores in South Australia. One of what was 3 is set to close on March 31. The Leading Edge Video at Elizabeth Downs. We'll speak with the owner there. Phil Curry in the nation's capital. Anthony Albanese will be on the show after 8 o'clock. We've got Orazio Fantasia on for the very first time ahead of Port's clash against his former club this weekend, and Ryan Fitzgerald will be on the show, and we will do tips backed by popular demand. Sorry, David Penberthy, and a good morning to you, quite formally.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, listeners. As I was saying, big week for blokes called Jimmy. Jimmy at Mr. Meats in Hindmarsh. Jimmy Rowe, my son Jim, retrieved from school camp in Robe. Had his MRI yesterday, off to the GP today to find out how bad the damage is. Poor kid.
Then they gave no indication?
No, it's just, get into the container and,
Yeah, okay.
You ever had an MRI? You ever been in one of those things?
I've had it for my back.
Yeah, I've never been in one of them. They're pretty full on. And it takes a long time, too, to get scanned.
Yeah, they put headphones on you because it's actually quite loud, but...
Yeah, were you awake the whole time or did you doze off?
Oh, I started to getting a bit noddy. But if I lie still for more than 2.5 minutes, I start falling asleep. So anywhere on planet Earth.
Jim fell asleep. He just basically got in it and woke up at the end.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad way to do it.
They're not recollection of it.
They're only bad if you're claustrophobic. I imagine people that have claustrophobia would find it a bit confronting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, otherwise it's not too bad. See, I had the thing happen that you kind of don't know whether to hope for or not. When I came out of it, the operator, which I'm pretty sure they're not meant to do, went. Yeah.
Sounds you don't want to hear.
Yeah, he went.
It's like when you're at the dentist and they go,
So the operator made that noise, and I went, oh, so you found something? He went, oh, yeah, it's not good. And I'm like, okay, well, that's good. Because this is when I found out my spinal cords were bursting out of my spine. My vertebrae were bursting out.
And like Jeff Goldblum in The Fly, you mean?
He was actually, yeah, that's right, pretty much. I think I'll start the conversion. Because at that point in time, I just didn't know if I was a whinger or if I had a serious problem. And he's like, oh, no, it's not good. So that was actually somewhat confronting. Yeah, I can have my moments. My wife would say otherwise.
You're health conscious, though, aren't you?
Yeah.
You get checked up and things.
I'm just afraid of dying. No, I'm a bit if anything, I'm a bit of a hypochondriac.
It is inevitable death, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the bit that I don't like.
Anyway, moving right along.
Get a happy Friday to you.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Well,
maybe that's your prediction. Maybe that's your prediction. If that's your third one, I reckon you're probably right.
I'm reading the autobiography of Eric Idle from Monty Python at the moment. Famously the author of Always Look on the Bright Side of Life. That is the most played song at funerals in England. Such a terrific song.
Is it really?
Life's a piece of shit when you look at it. Like, just there's so many beautiful little lines in it. But it's in a similar vein, when Peter Sellers died, 1/3 of the Goons, he had Glenn Miller's "In the Mood" played at his funeral as his coffin went into he was cremated, and the coffin was going into the furnace, and the music started like the most incongruously upbeat song.
That's great.
And but in a similar vein, Eric Idle's classic from Life of Brian, Always Look on the Bright Side of Life, that would actually put a smile on your dial, hearing that at a funeral.
Yeah, I agree.
I wonder if any of our listeners have ever heard that played at a funeral.
Let us know, 82230000.
Or heard,
we went very dark this morning.
Being saved by Graham Corns. I mean, who would have thought that worked the other day?
He probably prevented a few people having that played at their funeral.
He did.
Thanks to Jimmy at Mr. Meats in Hindmarsh. It's not our Meat Tray Friday question. We're asking you to make a prediction, any prediction you like. We're not going to hold you to account. Just predict something. We want to see if anyone else has powers of foresight like our own David Penberthy, who's just massaging his brow now as though another image is coming to him. He's divining something.
I've got an image of the Crows at the end of the year with the number 8 next to the team.
8?
8. I don't know. I can see an 8.
Oh, you can see. Right. 8 wins?
I don't know. Maybe enough to get into the 8.
Maybe they're in the 8. Maybe they finish 8th.
Yeah. Maybe they do. Maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves. Andy suggested, no, maybe the number I'm thinking of has actually got a 1 in front of it. 1-8. But he's a West Coast supporter. He can go and get stuffed.
82230000. Make a prediction. 13 after 6. You can win yourself a meat tray thanks to Jimmy at Mr. Meats.
Have you got any, Will?
Yeah.
Any hot predictions?
I do. Coming up right after this, the news headlines.
Major road resurfacing works on the Southeastern Freeway between the Toll Gate and Hyson tunnels will be underway until mid-2021. Motorists should expect delays, so allow extra travel time. Visit dit.sa.gov.au/SE Freeway. A message from the Government of South Australia.
At Spotlight, a window's what you make it. Save a massive 50% off the entire range of ready-to-hang roller blinds and 40% off the entire range of ready-to-hang eyelet curtains, so you can cool it, block it and shade it for less. Exclusions apply. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
Sesame Street Circus Spectacular is coming to Adelaide for the first time at Penberthy Park for a limited season from April 1 until May 2nd. This amazing show is for all ages. Enjoy all the fun and laughter of the circus with Elmo and his friends and a cast of international circus stars that will leave you on the edge of your seat. There's the Wheel of Steel, Motorcycle Mania, and so much more. This show cannot be missed. Book now at Ticketmaster.
So what were you saying about battery-powered garden tools over petrol ones?
They're often lighter, less noisy, and some battery-powered tools give the petrol ones a run for their money now.
Oh, and Stanford's got battery-powered mowers.
Heaps. And trimmers, blowers.
So why haven't you replaced the old petrol ones?
I'd never remember to charge them. What's that?
This? Oh, just a little battery rotation chart I made. What colours do they come in?
You're the best, hon.
Stanford Mowers, 590 Main North Road, Jepps Cross. StanfordMowers.com.au.
At Harvey Norman, your technology specialists save $100 on the great value Asus 14-inch laptop. Now just $348. Acer Aspire 5 laptop with the latest 11th gen Intel Core i5 processor. Now $697, save $300. Or the ultra-portable HP Pavilion laptop, designed for exceptional entertainment, with an 11th gen Intel Core i7 processor, only $1,298. Now at Harvey Norman.
Wakey, wakey! It's savings time at Dreamland.
That's right. Wake up and get into Dreamland and save up to 50% off in Dreamland's Wake Up Sale. You'll get up to 50% off Sealy Posturepedic, Sleepmaker, Sleep Haven, Restopedic and exclusive Utopia mattresses. And for this month only, get Sleepmaker Claire Queen Pocket Spring mattresses for half price. That's only $999 for the queen size. Plus get great deals on all beds and bedroom furniture. All in Dreamland's Wake Up Sale.
So wake up and come to Dreamland.
Dreamland.
9 News, weeknights at 5, nightly at 6. The switch is on to the news that's live and local. 9 News, made in Adelaide.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
16 after 6, just before the news headlines. Nick in Lobethal would like to make a prediction for the meat tray this morning. Morning to you, Nick.
Good morning, gentlemen. Look, I don't know if you remember, but Spike Milligan, when he died, on his gravestone, it said, "I told you I was sick."
That's right.
My prediction every year, and I've never got it wrong, I'm going to make it to the next year. Now, prove me wrong. I don't care. I'll be dead.
Exactly right. Come and collect your debts. Good on you, Nick.
Good work, Nick.
Thank you. 822 300 or text us on the Telstra Stormount Barker text line. You can watch along 5AA Facebook and YouTube live feeds as well. News headlines on this Friday morning. The Prime Minister says Christian Porter and Linda Reynolds will continue to play a key role in his cabinet, but has given a strong indication they won't be keeping their current portfolios. The Attorney General is due to return to work at the end of the month after taking leave in the wake of a sexual assault allegation, which he denies. The Defence Minister is on health leave as she faces criticism for her handling of former staff member Brittany Higgins' allegation of rape. Here's the PM on a current affair last night.
You're saying Christian Porter and Linda Reynolds still retain your full confidence?
They will continue to play a very important role in my cabinet.
Okay. Not necessarily the current roles, though.
Well, when I make judgments about those things, I'll announce them.
It sounds like they're not necessarily going to play those current roles.
Well, when I make those announcements and
when
I
are you
consider
going to make
those
those
things, when I'm in a position to do that.
He keeps fronting up with nothing to say, this bloke.
They always, which is a sort of one of the key tenets of politics and calling press conferences and doing interviews.
What are you going to say? What's your point?
Don't do them if you've got nothing to say.
Yeah.
Now, he has to do something, but I can't believe no one's formulated any sort of actual action response to any of this.
I know, it's crazy. I mean,
even some sort of...
The key problem with that press conference the other day was he stood there to tell everyone how disgusted he was. And then to the next question, all right, so you're disgusted, what next?
Yeah, it's not good. It's not
well, don't you start? Yeah. What about your company?
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing here?
You never want the Prime Minister turning up to a press conference effectively saying, someone needs to do something about this.
Yeah,
it's getting out of hand.
Hey, smart guy, that's your job.
Yeah, that's right. Remember, PM.
This is interesting too, and I can remember in the gallery in '96, a lot of people were going, Howard doesn't hold enough press conferences.
Mm.
And I used to think, like, as a journo, I would have loved it if John Howard held a press conference every 2 days because it would have got the easiest way to get stories. You stand there and you write down what the Prime Minister says. But Howard had this view that, well, I'm not going to go out there and feed the chooks.
Mm.
You know, I think that was an old Keatingism, feeding the chooks, talking to the journos. He said, I'm just going to keep working on my policies, and when I've got something solid to say, I'll talk about it.
It's a better strategy.
Yeah.
Federal Health Minister Greg Hunt has declared all COVID vaccine appointments must be free. It comes after several pensioners in South Australia were forced to pay $70 out of pocket for a pre-vaccination appointment. The Department of Health followed up the claims and found charging patients for any consultations related to the COVID-19 jab would be a breach of the program. The US President has set a new goal for the nation, their national COVID vaccination program. Joe Biden wants to see 200 million doses of the jab administered in his first 100 days of office. Here's the President speaking at his first formal news conference.
We will, by my 100th day in office, have administered 200 million shots. That's right, 200 million shots in 100 days. I know it's ambitious, twice our original goal, but no other country in the world has even come close.
So in the US, the aim is 200 million in 100 days. Here we it'll be 1,200 by the end of the week.
Yeah.
And then we might have 10,000 the week after that. And then, we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, well, it's this vague. We should be right by the end of the year.
By the end of the year, we'll be all right.
Well, they've had other things on their plate federally, I guess, haven't they? Desk cleaning, things like that.
A man accused of an arson attack at Woodville West will be extradited back to Adelaide from New South Wales today. The 32-year-old allegedly set fire to 3 people in a Calendar Place home last week. He's expected to be charged with murder after the blaze killed 1 man and injured 2 women. Thousands of residents in Sydney's northwest are no longer on standby to have to flee their homes with evacuation warnings lifted. In southeast Queensland, some communities are still cut off by floodwaters, including Logan Reserve. More than 17,000 insurance claims have been lodged across Queensland and New South Wales following the flooding. The Insurance Council of Australia estimates the total value of claims to be $254 million.
A lot of money, isn't it?
It is a lot of money. The Prince of Wales and Duchess of Cornwall are in Greece on their first international tour of the year. They're there to celebrate the bicentenary of Greek independence on the invitation of the Prime Minister, and here's Charles speaking in Greece.
Could not be more delighted to be back in Greece, which has long held the most special place in my heart. After all, Greece is the land of my grandfather and of my father's birth.
Parents are being warned to monitor their kids' online activity, with child abuse offences increasing. 5 South Australian men have been charged with possessing and trading child exploitation material this week.
It's sick, isn't it?
It is. European Union leaders will hold virtual talks on how to boost coronavirus vaccine supplies as a third wave of the virus gains momentum. Most of their meetings this far end up concluding the best way to do it is just to stop it being sent anywhere else, irrespective of whether people have bought it or not. The European Commission wants them to back plans to tighten controls on vaccine exports. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson says that is a bad idea.
Vaccines, as you know, are the product of international cooperation. I don't think that blockades of either vaccines or of medicines, of ingredients for vaccines are sensible. And I think that the long-term damage done by blockades can be very considerable.
And lastly, Hollywood actor Johnny Depp has lost his fight to appeal a High Court ruling that he assaulted his ex-wife Amber Heard.
You wouldn't want that trial to start up again after how it panned out last time for him.
Yeah, it's...
Wonder if this is going to affect his career in the Me Too era. Some shocking evidence came out about him.
He's a darling of Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, there's been a few of them over the years, haven't there? Like Roman Polanski.
Yeah, there's a few
still wanted in
Woody Allen.
Europe. Yeah, Woody Allen.
There's a few that
still making films.
Hollywood has an incredible capacity, collectively, to be outraged morally about all manner of things, and then turn a blind eye to it when it affects people that they... Oh, no, but they know, but...
Well, they put up with Harvey Weinstein for a long time.
Yeah, that was funny, wasn't it? Amazing that. Now, the weather today, it's cool outside at the moment, 14 degrees, top of 24 today. Might get a little bit of rain tomorrow, 22 with up to 2 mils. Sunday, 23, sunny for the start of next week and looking really good for the Easter long weekend. Monday, 25, Tuesday, 28, Wednesday, 29, and Thursday, 30.
Design experts Kyle and Cara have completed more than 35 renos since being on the block in 2014 and wish Be Visual Live from Beaumont's was around back then.
Beaumont's love making designing easy and have created some awesome tools like What's My Style, complete bathroom packages, and now they've added Be Visual Live.
It's a live visualizer for your family and main floor areas. Just take a pic of your family area, upload it to Be Visual Live, and you can see your room with so many different tiles, from timber look to terrazzo to large format.
Just jump on tile.com.au, click on Be Visual Live and start designing. It's just amazing. You can look at the tiles in your room, change laying patterns and colours, and know exactly what they'll look like.
No guessing, no confusion, and you can do it all from home on tile.com.au.
That's why we chose Beaumont's.
Get designing today with Beaumont's Be Visual Live on tile.com.au.
Hop into Coles for half-price chocolate treats. There's Cadbury Favourites Cream Egg 820 grams, Mars Maltesers 400 grams, and even Toblerone 360 grams. All half price. Coles. Value the Australian way. Offer ends Tuesday, April 6 while stocks last.
Before you head off on your well-earned Easter break and you leave behind all your worries, remember you don't have to leave behind any plastic bottles.
You do not at all, Will, because of PureTap. The excellent people at PureTap, they've declared war on waste, they like to call it, by reducing single-use plastics. Fill up your bottles and tanks with great-tasting PureTap water.
Yes, now that's pure sustainability, and when you think of the money you'll save, it's pure value too.
You can just taste the sustainability. And how good is this? PureTap from only $49 up front. I got one myself. It's one of the first things people comment on when they arrive at the house, apart from just generally how messy it is.
They often say,
"Oh, look over there. Look past that pile of stuff on the ground. Look at that PureTap."
How sustainable's Penberthy?
That's me.
Yeah.
It's my middle name.
David Sustainability Penberthy. That's a designer tap, installation and filter for 2 years on a great payment plan. Call Puretap on 133502 or go to puretap.com.au. Some T's and C's apply and have a purely relaxing Easter break.
At Spotlight, a window's what you make it. Save a massive 50% off the entire range of ready-to-hang roller blinds and 40% off the entire range of ready-to-hang eyelet curtains. So you can cool it, block it and shade it for less. Exclusions apply. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
Get a Nissan Qashqai with Apple CarPlay and a standard 5-year warranty. Plus, when you finance with Nissan Future Value, receive up to 3 years free service. Only at Nissan. T's and C's apply. Approved applicants only.
I remember on our last road trip when we got to Robe, the kids were fast asleep in the back seat.
Oh, it was so cute.
How do you know? You were asleep too.
Was I? Oh, must have been those new tyres we bought through RAA. Such a smooth ride.
Is that your excuse?
Mm-hmm.
Before you make road trip memories, remember RAA for road service, vehicle inspections, tyres, batteries and RAA approved repairers. RAA is your ultimate road trip companion because we help you to keep on moving on. T's and C's apply. Available from RAA.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
27 after 6, Tom Wren joins us in the 5AA Breakfast studio. Morning to you, Rennie.
Morning to you, Will, David. Boys, did you get sucked in like I did last night? Picked Carlton, thought, yeah, this is the year. They're finally coming.
Well, I didn't end up watching the game because we're watching Ted Lasso at our house at the moment.
Oh, yeah, that show.
It's excellent.
Soccer manager, the American.
Oh, it's such a good show.
Yeah.
But halfway through that second quarter, I had a quick look and I thought, go the mighty Carltons. How about this? But it all just petered out pretty fast, didn't it?
Yeah, disappointing. And look, Jordan De Goey was excellent. Scott Pendlebury, Taylor Adams. Every year since 2013, Carlton's been 0-2. They just
is that every year since 2013?
Yeah, they just cannot get themselves started any season. Now I had a call this morning. Yeah, I think they are. This is a bit harsh. I'm just annoyed that I got the tip wrong. Basically, I think they've been the worst side this century by a mile.
Yeah, and the worst run side as well.
Yep. They're finally getting.
Everything you need to know about Carlton's management is epitomised by that hovercraft thing. Remember that?
Yes.
Captain Carlton and the hovercraft?
They've got a Patrick Cripps concern now, haven't they?
Big time. Hearing very loudly that Perth teams are coming in a wild and big way.
Well, they are, but in the immediate term, how's he moving?
He doesn't look great, does he?
Like, he's looked patched together for years, but he's somehow found a way. But he's just not moving well at the moment.
Well, it's amazing fall from grace for that club, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because as a kid growing up, they were Carlton and Hawthorn were the two sides that were always there or thereabouts.
Mm.
I think back to when Fitzpatrick was captain and
they were huge.
Bruce Stool,
even in the mid-90s.
One of my favourite players of all time.
Yep.
They were just a machine.
Players. In the early 80s, late 70s, they were fantastic, weren't they?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow, Will, and I'm looking forward to hearing you call the Sydney Crows game. Nick Murray's going to make his debut, so that's exciting. Jordan Butts, another player, re-signs with the Crows. Yeah, exactly. So this is good signs for the Crows. They're just going along nicely. What a great opportunity.
Match of the round, Sydney Adelaide.
Because it's great.
It's
got these young kids going out there.
Youth versus youth with a teeny bit of experience.
It is.
And is Buddy Franklin playing?
He is playing.
Oh, that's good.
It's good for the game. Great
Who
to have him
stands
back.
Buddy?
Butts. Yeah, Butts will get him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got the contract one day, standing Buddy Franklin the next.
Yeah, it's a handful of games to his name.
So they've got Reid and then Murray. Reid and then McDonald, who was the third pick overall in the draft.
Who are these people?
There's not going to be
Logan McDonald can play. He'll be a household name.
Is he a Crow?
No,
Swan.
Who Nick Murray might be standing,
okay.
the guy who's debuting for the Crows. And my point being, his first game, they're not going to be able to ease him in against, a side's fourth, fifth tall, forward or. It's going to be, he's going to have a job to do. It's going to be a massive challenge for the Crows tomorrow.
Huge.
Fascinating game.
And Port after that, straight after. So we've got it
less
covered.
of a challenge.
Yeah, wall to wall. I think they'll have another hefty win.
Yeah. Essendon are crap this year, aren't they?
They're going to be ordinary.
Yeah.
Bottom four. And I'm looking forward to your chat with Orazio Fantasia. So stay tuned for that. Yeah.
I want to talk to him about his mum's cooking.
Well, okay. I didn't know about that.
Seriously, apparently she's a gun cook. You know, they're part of the whole
Well,
Campbelltown Italian community.
I want you
People
to
out there,
massage that relationship so we can maybe experience a bit
get
of
some
this.
passata.
Oh, beautiful.
Good on you, Reddy.
Thanks, boys.
Save up to $800 on selected Miele cooking appliances. Adelaide Appliance Gallery, the home of Mr. Dishwasher.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy and 24 today with the 6:30 news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
Woken with a stiff neck or sore back? Get a Physio Extra appointment today. 6 locations, physioextra.com.
A man accused of an arson attack at Woodville West will be extradited back to Adelaide from New South Wales today. The 32-year-old allegedly set fire to 3 people in a Callender Place home last week. He then fled before being arrested in country New South Wales. He's expected to be charged with murder after the blaze killed 1 man and injured 2 women. In a crackdown on child sex crimes in SA, police have arrested 5 accused predators. The men have been charged with a range of offences, including possessing and trading child exploitation material. Detective Superintendent Gail McClure says cases of child abuse are on the rise.
The jacket in South Australia charged 92 people in 2020, which is up from 60% in 2019. Unfortunately, we do consider that the impact of the COVID lockdowns has contributed to this increase because both offenders and children have been spending more time at home, therefore more time online.
Federal Health Minister Greg Hunt has declared all COVID vaccine appointments must be free. It comes after several pensioners in SA were forced to pay $70 out of pocket for a pre-vaccination appointment. The Department of Health has followed up the claims and found charging patients for any consultations related to the jab would be a breach of the program. Meantime, AstraZeneca's updated data on its COVID vaccine after US health officials complained it was old. The pharmaceutical company reports the jab's 76% effective rather than 79% at preventing symptomatic COVID, but the jab is still 100% effective against severe cases. The US President has set a new goal for the nation's COVID vaccination program. Joe Biden wants to see 200 million doses of the jab administered in his first 100 days of office. Speaking at his first formal news conference, he says the country's a world leader.
We will, by my 100th day in office, have administered 200 million shots. That's right, 200 million shots in 100 days. I know it's ambitious, twice our original goal, but no other country in the world has even come close.
AFL footballer Sydney Stack has been sentenced for breaching WA's quarantine laws. More from Nine's Julian Douglas.
The 20-year-old Richmond player has been handed a $6,000 fine for breaching a self-isolation order in December. Stack had returned to WA for a funeral and was meant to be quarantining with family in Northam, but was arrested for failing to comply with a direction under the Emergency Management Act after a night out in Northbridge. In sentencing, the magistrate cited the 3 weeks Stack had already spent in Hakea Prison and his remorse as mitigating factors, but refused defence lawyer John Percy QC's request for a spent conviction, given the seriousness of the offence and a need for general deterrence for other potential offenders.
It's expected to be at least 25 years before the gender pay gap fully closes in Australia. The Curtin Economics Centre has compiled a report analysing the current trends based on more than 4 million workers. The Centre's Alan Duncan says some careers are making more progress than others.
Particularly those in clerical or community and personal services occupations. You know, the closure of the gap is really a long way away.
Now turning to FIVEaa Sport.
Save up to $800 on selected Miele cooking appliances at Adelaide Appliance Gallery, home of Mr. Dishwasher.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Collingwood has broken through to record its first win for the season after holding off Carlton by 21 points in front of more than 50,000 fans at the MCG. Jordan De Goey booted 4 goals, while Scott Pendlebury and Taylor Adams were both dominant in the midfield. The Crows will fly to Sydney this morning ahead of tomorrow's match against the Swans, where Nick Murray will make his debut, while the Power takes on Essendon tomorrow for a twilight match. To rugby league, and the Penrith Panthers led for less than 60 frantic seconds in the grand final rematch, but that was all it took to claim victory over the Melbourne Storm. Kurt Capewell crossed in the dying stages at the foot of the mountains, putting the Panthers up 12-10. Then the Storm appeared to snatch victory back from the jaws of defeat.
Melbourne, they've got them shot out left. It goes to Bromwich. It goes to Olam. Olam scores. Melbourne have won it. You believe this!
But after being sent upstairs, the try was disallowed, with Justin Olam ruled to have been held up, and the Panthers claimed the 2-point win. To tennis, and Ash Barty's overcome a slow start to take the first set in the opening round of the Miami Open. Playing against Slovak Kristina Kuchova, Barty found herself down an early break of serve, but she fought back to take the first set 6-3. Games are currently on serve early in the second set. Earlier, Storm Sanders had a win, while on the men's side, Thanasi Kokkinakis and Jordan Thompson also advanced to the second round after straight sets victories. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Audi Solitaire, Metro Dealer of the Year. Visit audisolitaire.com.au.
Partly cloudy and 24 today. A possible morning shower tomorrow, 22. Partly cloudy for Sunday, 23. And sunny on Monday, 25. At the moment, 14. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
23 minutes to 7. We're making predictions for the meat tray this morning, thanks to Jimmy at Mr. Meats in Hindmarsh. Part of the 5AA family. They're a terrific local butcher, Jimmy and Kathy, serving the West for decades at 43 Grange Road, West Hindmarsh. We're inspired by our very own oracle in David Penberthy, who's made ridiculous football predictions come true for fun on this program. It's not even surprising anymore. He just says it and everyone says, well, didn't see that coming.
I'm an idiot savant, Will, that's why.
You're just a savant now. I think you can drop the idiot part. And so we're asking you about your own predictions. Make them. Don't have to be footy related.
No,
Could be
not
anything.
footy.
Corey, for example, on the Telstra Store Mount Barker text line says, guys, my prediction, Marshall to lose the election by a country mile for taking away something we all love, the V8s. Corey's called the election. We're one year out
We'll
from the
write
election.
that down, Corey. We'll write that down. And if I'm sure that Will and I will be doing our excellent lager-fueled election night coverage again.
Are we allowed to do that? Have we been taken off the air?
No, I think we can. Can we?
I predict it will be a real talking point for the people who do radio accreditation.
Is that against the ACMA rules, is it?
Oh, look, I think a lot of what we do is against the ACMA rules.
ACMA. Those meddling so-and-sos.
Anyway,
That's the Broadcasting and Communications Authority.
Yeah, we will be doing the... Listen, here's what we'll do.
They're the ones who don't let you sort of come on air suddenly saying nice things about the banks and secretly trousering thousands of dollars in covert payments.
We will do our election coverage as we always do, and then if we happen to be off the air inexplicably for a couple of weeks, you'll know why.
Well, I'll tell you what, in radio, there's nothing worse than being off the air inexplicably.
Yeah, that's
I've
right.
always said that.
It's always tough to explain. Let's get some Meat Tray Friday calls. Scott and Glenunga, good morning.
Good morning, David. Good morning, Will. How are you going this morning?
Good, thank you, Scott. You got great manners, mate. You always preface your excellent contributions to our show with impeccable manners, young man.
Thanks, David. I appreciate it. I'm a Sturt supporter as well, by the way.
Oh,
so
yeah, you've been brought up proper.
Together.
Good on you, mate.
Correct. I've got a trio of predictions for this year, and it's I'm a Crow supporter, but Port to make the GF.
Yep.
Ash Barty to make the French Open final.
Mm-hmm.
But my big prediction is the Guinness World Record for the most toothpicks in a beard will fall this year. It currently stands at 3,500 toothpicks, but I'm just thinking those people quarantining when they go to different countries and stuff, like surely that record's got to fall.
People have been doing a lot of work behind closed doors. That's a great prediction,
That's a
Scott.
good one.
I like hearing Guinness World Records tumbling down.
There's a lot of bigger beards around these days too because of, hipsters.
It's trendy, but they're
craft beer enthusiasts.
They're oddly manicured though.
Well, that's it. I would have thought the whole point of having a beard is you just don't care.
No.
Well, you don't want to go down to the shaver shop and start, creating some sort of twirly bit on your upper lip.
Lindy and Gawler, good morning.
Good morning, boys. How you going?
We're good, thank you, Lindy.
What's your prediction?
Crows will make the top 8 and win one final.
Wow, I hope you're right, Lindy.
Fantastic.
That would be exciting.
Good on you, Lindy.
We'll put that prediction down. I reckon international travel will be back so much faster than we all expected.
Seriously?
That's my prediction.
You know what's funny?
I think well before the end of the year, people will be travelling.
In a triumph of optimism over reality, there's a massive glossy lift out today in The Australian called Travel and Luxury. And I was just looking at it thinking...
Focus on the luxury.
The obligatory 2-page ad for Rolexes when you open the page. Then there's one for Veuve Clicquot, fancy French champagne. There's one for Tiffany if you want to go and buy your missus necklace that's worth several $1,000s. But I was thinking, so what, you get to page 5 and it's like, focus on Wallaroo. Because where the hell can we go?
Yeah, that's right. Take your new Rolex somewhere local.
Yeah. Rock up at, Victor Harbour wearing your Tiffany gear.
8223 0000. Make a prediction. Make a big, bold prediction for us about absolutely anything you like. You can only win a meat tray. There's no downside in this. We won't be ringing you back in 6 months' time saying, well, smart guy.
One here from Joe in Henley Beach. My prediction, ScoMo gone by June. Only problem, who is the least worst option to replace?
ScoMo gone by June. He's in the midst
Surely
of the crisis
not.
at the moment. Simon Birmingham will join us in about 10 minutes' time.
Well, we might put Joe's theory to him.
So
Joe in Henley Beach reckons.
Senator, we have someone who can divine the future that's texted us this morning.
Yeah, we got a source. We got a source in Henley Beach, Burma, who says, it's as good a source as any.
Oh, well, sources say.
I've run with less in the past.
18 minutes to 7. Let's check traffic thanks to Dave Potter, Australia's #1 Honda dealer, second year running. DavePotterHonda.com.au.
A major traffic switch for Croydon Park at South Road from Torrens Road to Pimm Street. Outbound's now able to go over the new bridge. Inbound not affected though. Paralawi, Port Wayford Road near Hodgson Road. Just watch for crews attending a small grass fire opposite the OTR. And a camera at Lonsdale Road, Trot Park. Priceline Pharmacy's massive half-price makeup sale is on now. Head in and snap up a bargain on all your favourite makeup brands. Hurry, sale ends Saturday at Priceline. It's Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
G'day, Tom Wren here. March is Epilepsy Awareness Month, and the Epilepsy Centre here in SA receives no government funding for family support and the education and training they provide across the state. If you want to support them and the 63,000 people living with epilepsy in SA, take a minute to sign the Epilepsy Centre's petition for state government funding, or purchase a $60 lottery ticket for a chance to win $40,000 cash. Go to epilepsycentre.org.au, licence M13978.
If you want to feel great about the milk you pour in your tea and coffee, over your cereal or in your smoothie, make sure it's from the Flurio Milk Company, because it's a great feeling buying from people who love SA as much as you do. 3 words make all the difference. Flurio Milk Company. South Australian and proud of it. Whew, feel like a cuppa now.
Flurio Milk Company, celebrating 15 years of SA business. FlurioMilkco.com.au.
For over 36 years, Steinborner has been well worth the trip. With over 400 used cars to choose from, you're sure to find the car you're looking for. Steinborner is your first choice for new Hyundai and Mitsubishi in the Barossa, and your first choice for Ford in Clare. And don't forget, you can always click through the collection of vehicles online at steinborner.com.au. Great local deals on great local cars from your locals. Steinborner Automotive. Still well worth the trip, or well worth the click.
You might think having thousands of pals is excessive, but that's not what the team at Parafield Airport Liquor Store think, because that's how many they have. Sure, they might be made up of over 100 gins, over 200 whiskies, over 300 craft beers, and over 2,000 boutique wines. But they're some of the best pals you could have, and they're always looking for more, even if they are tricky to track down. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals, next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
Save up to 55% off discontinued Beauty Rest black mattresses and ensembles now at Harvey Norman. Now's the time to upgrade your mattress and support Australian-made manufacturing. Plus, purchase with 60 months interest-free and receive a bonus gift card up to the value of $500. Minimum finance amount $1,000. Approved applicants only. 60 equal monthly payments. Interest applies if you do not comply with terms and conditions. Fees and exclusions apply. Save up to 55% off discontinued Beauty Rest black mattresses and ensembles exclusive to Harvey Norman.
Go! 9 News, weeknights at 5, nightly at 6. The switch is on to the news that's live and local. 9 News, made in Adelaide.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
15 minutes to 7. Good start to a Friday morning. We're having fun hearing your predictions for the meat tray. Thanks to Jimmy at Mr. Meats in Hindmarsh. 8223 0000 is the number.
If you're new to 5AA too, stick around because it's like this most days.
Exactly right. Yeah, it's a bit of football, bit of politics and
Bit of
lots
nonsense.
of random stupidity in between.
A lot of fun calls with the excellent listeners.
Exactly right. Love the listeners. Senior Constable Matt Brown, we love too, joins us from SAPOL. Morning to you, Matt.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Yeah, we're well. We don't love this one, though. A drink driver's been caught at Ceduna more than 6 times the limit.
That's right, Will. About 6:45 p.m. yesterday, Ceduna police saw a vehicle travelling on Mackenzie Street and noticed the driver wasn't wearing a seatbelt. So patrols followed the Holden Jackaroo for a short time and saw the car swerving over the road and fortunately stopped in the car park of a local hotel. And the driver underwent a breath test and he recorded a positive result of 0.310, which, as you mentioned, is more than 6 times over the legal limit. And further checks revealed, and you may be shocked to find this, the car was unregistered, uninsured, and the driver didn't have a licence.
Oh, how about that?
The trifecta.
Absolutely. So the vehicle wasn't roadworthy either. It was also defected. So the driver, a 35-year-old man from Ceduna, was reported for numerous traffic offences, including drink driving, not wearing a seatbelt, and he'll be summoned to appear in court at a later date. So some good work by patrols over there in the Air Western.
Amazing you'd even stand up to get into the car. Unbelievable. Matt, also, there were quite a few nasty road incidents yesterday.
That's right. Of course, there was a serious crash up at Montacute, which has left a motorcycle rider in a serious condition in hospital. So about 11:50 a.m. yesterday, police and ambulance crews were called to Gorge Road after reports that a motorcyclist had collided with a semi-trailer. Now, the rider, a 16-year-old boy from Hectorville, sustained serious injuries in the crash. He was taken to the Royal Adelaide Hospital for treatment. So major crash officers attended the scene to investigate the circumstances. And Gorge Road was blocked in both directions for several hours, but has since reopened. So we're still appealing for any witnesses to come forward, anyone who may have dash cam footage in the area at the time. Please call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
And Matt, Port Noarlunga Crims made a daring escape, or at least he tried to.
That's right. Now, a man was arrested yesterday after he allegedly stole a car from a food delivery driver. The delivery driver left his car running while making a delivery on Peterson Crescent about 1:40 p.m. yesterday, and a man approached the driver and threatened him with a knife before jumping into the Mitsubishi ASX and drove off. Now, the victim wasn't physically injured, but patrols quickly attended the scene, and with the assistance of Polair, they located the car abandoned nearby, and the suspect then slid down a 30-metre cliff at Port Noarlunga, where he was met by police who were waiting at the bottom, and he was subsequently arrested.
Sometimes they just land in your lap, I guess, man.
So that's right. It was a fun ride until the police caught him. But the 25-year-old man from Noarlunga, he's been detained under the Mental Health Act at the moment, so, and investigations are ongoing, and charges are likely to be laid later on today.
Yeah.
Good on you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Senior Constable Matt Brown from SAPOL. Let's talk weather. Simon Timke is the senior forecaster at the Bureau. Simon, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys.
How's the weekend looking?
Look, we've got a little bit of weather on the way early in the weekend. Quite a bit of cloud pushing down from the northwest on the satellite picture at the moment. There's been a lot of thunderstorm activity out over the west of the state overnight. Not expecting that to move over the Adelaide area, but we will see that cloud increasing. And there's just the slight chance that we could see a shower today. Looking on the radar, there's some showers out over Spencer Gulf, just to the northwest of Corny Point there. I think they'll struggle to get too much on the ground here in Adelaide, but there is just a slight chance we could see a shower around during the day today. As far as temperatures go today, we're forecasting a maximum of 24 degrees for the city, 24 as well for Glenelg and Elizabeth, 23 degrees for Noarlunga and Mount Barker. Looking around the suburbs at the moment, most places sitting on around 13 or 14 degrees. A cold front will move across sort of the Adelaide area late this evening and early tomorrow morning, and that'll bring a couple of showers. So for Saturday, we will see 1 or 2 showers around during the morning, maybe even this evening, and a tiny bit cooler on Saturday as well, 22 degrees. And then on Sunday, I think mostly those showers will be gone by Saturday afternoon, but just a slight chance of a shower around Sunday morning as well, 23 degrees the maximum for Sunday. But then the best of the weather is really on the way next week. For Monday, a sunny day, 25. Tuesday, sunny day, 28. Sunny and 29 for Wednesday, and up to 30 degrees and mostly sunny for Thursday. Some pretty nice weather ahead next week.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Exciting reading for the Easter long weekend
Does
next
it ever.
weekend. Good on you, Simon. Appreciate that. Simon Timke, senior forecaster at the Weather Bureau. It's 10 to 7. The Federal Finance Minister, Simon Birmingham, will join us right after this.
Looking for something new to do with the family? If only there was somewhere that was fast, exciting and fun that kept you entertained for days? With regional market stalls, dedicated kids zones and live music? Carnival rides, fireworks, stunt riders, junior go-karts and more. Wouldn't it be great if this was all in one place over one weekend? What are you waiting for? Supercars are back at the Bend Motorsport Park. May 7 to 9 for the OTR Super Sprint. Tickets on sale now at thebend.com.au.
At Spotlight, a window's what you make it. Save a massive 50% off the entire range of ready-to-hang roller blinds and 40% off the entire range of ready-to-hang eyelet curtains. So you can cool it, block it and shade it for less. Exclusions apply. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
Feeling fatigued? Can't focus? Tired all the time? Now imagine you were a doctor in that situation. Half of junior doctors in SA's public hospitals report their workload is heavy or very heavy. A third report they never or only sometimes get paid for unrostered overtime. Meanwhile, a lack of medical staff contributes to ramping and waiting lists. It's time for SA Health to get real about staffing in our hospitals.
Authorised by Dr. David Pope for the South Australian Salaried Medical Officers Association, Adelaide.
At Coles, we're helping lower the cost of your weekly shop with great fresh offers. Like delicious in-season Aussie Shepherd avocados, just $1.50 each. Helping lower the cost of your weekly shop. Coles, value the Australian way. Offer ends Tuesday.
Can't hear all that now, can you? That's because this home has a Jolong double-glazed window and door system featuring high-performance sound insulation and heat resistance. That's not all Jolong can do for you. They can also help design your home with the light luxury and elegance you desire. And Jolong is on this journey with you for life with lifetime service. Visit jolong.com.au. 5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
8 to 7, South Australian Senator Simon Birmingham in just a moment. We'll take some more predictions in the meantime for the meat tray, thanks to Jimmy at Mr. Meats in Hindmarsh. Morning to you, Tina.
Good morning. I would like to predict that my puppy of 5 months old will actually learn to go and poo outside by the end of the year.
Oh, well, that's something to look forward to, Tina. And
well, it is.
What are you going to do until then?
Is that a prediction or a prayer?
Yeah, a bit of both.
Nice one, Tina.
Good on you, Tina. That's a good one. Let's go to One Tree Hill. Brad, good morning.
Morning, Dave and Will. Yeah, I've got a big prediction that the CEO of the AFL, McLaughlin's going to stand down. Eddie Maguire's going to take the position over.
Boy.
And his first call, whatever you call it, first thing he's going to do, he's going to ban the prison bars, and Port Adelaide's going to have to wear complete 100% teal.
Mate, that is chillingly believable.
And secondly, his other big call is that he's going to make them pay back the $17 million that they gouged out of the SNFL clubs.
Good on you, Brad.
Thanks,
Thank
Brad.
you.
I tell you what, good text on the Telstra Sawmount Market text line from Wally the Walnut saying, I predict that one day Eddie Maguire will shut up about the prison bars, and I'm a Crows supporter. I don't think he'll ever shut up about it. He's like a broken record, that guy. And I've got to say, like, everyone knows where my football allegiances lie, but how he can think that Collingwood have got more history than Port Adelaide is beyond me. In fact, his comments the other night almost conceded that they don't have more history, because he said he was talking about money.
Yeah.
He was talking about how much money Collingwood had made through its branding, the use of its jumper, and he's going, that's why we've got the relationship with Emirates. Maybe Port should make some more money. And it's like, okay, so what you're saying is the Collingwood jumper to you is a money-making device. And then he was getting into this whole big swinging you-know-what competition about who had the best P&L sheet. It's like, if you're a Victorian-based club with a lot of people with nothing better to do for their poor, sad lives in barrack for Collingwood, of course you can have more members.
If it's good
than
enough.
A smaller city like Adelaide, a smaller place like Port Adelaide.
if it's good enough for bigger and older clubs in bigger and older sporting leagues right around the world to share colours and do things, I think it's good enough for the AFL.
It just shows how mentally insecure they are over there.
South Australian Senator Simon Birmingham joins us. Senator, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're well. You're set to release a series of updated financial statements today. What will we learn about the state of the Australian economy?
The Australian economy continues to show incredible strength, and we've seen Australia bounce back to a position where we've got more people in jobs today than we had back in March of 2020, which is virtually unheard of in any developed economy around the world to have recovered employment that quickly. And it's flowing through to the budget, that our budget deficit year to date is tracking at some $23 billion less than had been expected. And now a $134 billion deficit is still huge in anybody's language. It's the biggest in our peacetime history, but it does show that getting more people into work is translating in lower social safety net payments, more Australian taxpayers, and that is achieving the type of improvements you'd hope to see.
Burmo, in your capacity as Minister for Finance, you're also responsible for parliamentary standards. Has discussions been held about whether alcohol should be banned or potentially its availability limited at Parliament House?
Bembo, look, I certainly made clear earlier in the week my view: nobody should be intoxicated in the building. There are a lot of different functions and events, as you know, held by charities, by businesses, by other organisations in the building throughout the course of the year in a range of different settings, and so the service of meals and drinks is commonplace, but I'm pretty clear in the view that there's no room for intoxication or anything that amounts, frankly, to inappropriate workplace conduct.
Yeah. Just in terms of the last week, I know you. I've seen you with your family at Crows functions. I know you're a decent bloke, but it just feels tawdry. Everything that's been happening in Parliament feels tawdry right now. How do you? And some of the texts that we get on the show are just people just shaking their heads about some of the revelations. You've had to have dealings with the guy who blew the whistle on these foul practices that were documented the other night. I understand you spoke to him yesterday. Is that correct?
Look, my chief of staff has had engagements in relation to the investigation. I've been having discussions with others in relation to the investigation. I think I know where you're going. Look, it's those of us who are elected are put there to serve and to do a job, and we have to take whatever circumstances are thrown at us. I didn't put my hand up to go to serve in Parliament to necessarily deal with the type of issues that have come out in the last few weeks, but it's my job, and that's what I've just got to get on and do and focus on. It does concern me, though, that the type of issues we've seen have left many of the staff who've come to work this week feeling almost ashamed to be working in the place. And I know that whether they're Liberal or Labor, Independent or Greens, they're overwhelmingly good, hard-working people who want to do the right thing by our country and who put their hand up to do these jobs with long hours and a lot of time away from their families too. And they should feel pride in working in our nation's parliament, not shame. And we need them to feel pride because we want to attract the best and brightest to do it. And so that's why we're not going to tolerate the type of things that we've seen.
So do you think more
Somebody
people
lost their job on Monday night. Others will if that's what it comes to pass. But we also have to make sure that all of the standards set the best possible example for the nation. And I think that's exactly what Australians should expect of their parliament.
Sorry to jump in there, Boom. I was just going to ask, so if more of these things are established as factual, then more people will lose their jobs?
If the same sorts of things have occurred by anybody else as occurred by the guy who lost his job on Monday night, then there'll be the same outcomes.
And just finally and quickly, an affirmative action rule, yes or no?
Look, yes, in terms of the fact that we need to make sure there are more women. It's how you go about doing it, and I think the SA Liberal Party has turned a corner lately. In the last 12 months, we've selected our candidates for the next state election in the upper house. 6 out of 7 are women. We had 2 extra spots on the Senate ticket to fill, both going to women. The seats of Schubert and Frome, both safe Liberal seats with openings, both going to women. I think, in fact, around 80% of winnable seats in the last 12 months that have been pre-selected have been filled by women. And my expectation is that the party needs to maintain that sort of trajectory to get an even balance. I don't know that we need rule changes right now in SA when we're seeing the outcomes being achieved, but we've got to make sure those outcomes continue.
Senator Simon Birmingham, Minister for Finance, thanks for joining us this morning on 5AA.
Thanks, guys. My pleasure.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy and 24 today with the 7 o'clock news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
FIVEaa Extra is a registered NDIS provider, so let them support you in achieving your goals. FIVEaAextra.com.
A man who allegedly set fire to 3 people at Woodville West last week will be extradited from New South Wales today. The 34-year-old doused a man and 2 women in flammable liquid inside a home on Calendar Place. Following a manhunt, he was arrested in New South Wales, where he's remained in hospital with serious injuries. He'll return to SA today, where he's expected to be charged with murder after the male victim died in hospital. A driver's been caught more than 6 times over the legal limit in Ceduna. Patrols noticed the Holden Jackaroo swerving all over the road before it stopped in the car park of a local hotel. Senior Constable Matt Brown says the driver was breath tested and allegedly blew .310.
Further checks revealed the car was unregistered, uninsured, and was also defected. So the driver, a 35-year-old man from Ceduna, was reported for numerous traffic offences, including drink driving, not wearing a seatbelt, and he'll be summoned to appear in court at a later date.
Police have carried out coordinated counter-terror raids in Melbourne and Brisbane. More from Nine's Pat Mitchell.
The target was a sophisticated Australian terror network paying foreign fighters to travel to Syria to join a jihadist group. It's been blamed for funding a Queensland man's trip to Syria in 2013, where he became Australia's first suicide bomber, killing 35 people. Joint counter-terrorism teams yesterday carried out coordinated raids in Melbourne and Brisbane, arresting and charging a 31-year-old gemstone trader from Doncaster East and a 34-year-old Queensland dog trainer.
More than 17,000 insurance claims have been lodged across Queensland and New South Wales following flooding. The Insurance Council of Australia estimates the total value of claims to be $254 million. They've now extended the previously declared insurance catastrophe to include southeast Queensland. Work continues to free a giant container ship that's blocking one of the world's most important trade routes. More from Nine's Ben Avery in London.
The 400-metre-long vessel called the Ever Given has been blocking the southern end of the Suez Canal since Tuesday when it strayed off course in a dust storm. With more than 150 ships now queued up waiting to get past, tugboats have been trying to free it from the banks. But so far those efforts have been unsuccessful and it's feared it could be weeks before the path is cleared. The Suez Canal is one of the world's busiest waterways and is relied upon for around 12% of global trade.
And he's only been in the job since January, but US President Joe Biden says he intends to run for re-election in 2024. The president was responding to questions from a journalist during his first White House press conference, which took place 65 days after he took office.
You haven't set up a re-election campaign yet, as your predecessor had by this time.
My predecessor needed to. My predecessor. Oh, God, I miss it.
Have you?
No, the answer is yes. My plan is to run for re-election. That's my expectation.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Save up to $800 on selected Miele cooking appliances at Adelaide Appliance Gallery, home of Mr Dishwasher.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. The Crows and Port Adelaide will release their teams tonight ahead of tomorrow's matches at Adelaide Oval and the SCG. Adelaide is set to blood defender Nick Murray against the Swans as he comes in to replace the concussed Jake Kelly, while Dave McKay replaces Luke Brown, who has an Achilles injury. Port Adelaide will train later this morning and are some chance to bring back defender Hamish Hartlett. Carlton, meantime, is winless after 2 rounds. The Blues going down to Collingwood by 21 points at the MCG last night. Coach David Teague admitting they were beaten by a better side on the night.
I have to give Collingwood the credit. They were strong. They competed hard, and I thought from a contest point of view that they won more contested possession, and then they also out-tackled us. So, that was really disappointing.
Jordan De Goey among the Pies best with 4 goals. One game to kick off round 3 in the NRL overnight, with the Penrith Panthers recording a 12-10 point win against the Melbourne Storm. There was also one game in the NBL overnight, with Melbourne United coming from behind to beat the New Zealand Breakers 82-79. Ash Barty's hoping to close out her opening round match at the Miami Open. She took out the first set 6-3, but trails 4-5 in the second against Slovak Kristina Kuchova. And the Denver Nuggets have acquired JaVale McGee from the Cleveland Cavaliers, in exchange for Isaiah Hartenstein and 2 future second-round picks on the NBA's trade deadline day. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Dave Potter, Australia's #1 Honda dealer, 2nd year running. DavePotterHonda.com.au.
A minor collision in the city, West Terrace at South Terrace, at Croydon Park, South Road from Torrens Road to Penn Street. A major traffic switch. Outbound's able to go over the new bridge now. Inbound not affected though. Cameras, Main South Road, Old Ranella and Lyons Road, Holden Hill. At Amart Furniture, receive 25 to 50% off the entire signature collection, all with a minimum 12-year all-inclusive warranty. It's for 1 week only. Rush into Amart today. That's Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Audi Solitaire, Metro Dealer of the Year. Visit audisolitaire.com.au.
Partly cloudy and 24 today, a possible morning shower tomorrow, 22. Sunday, partly cloudy, 23, and sunny for Monday, 25. At the moment, 14. More news as it happens on 5AA.
In the last hour on Adelaide's 5AA.
Big week for blokes called Jimmy. Jimmy at Mr. Meats in Hindmarsh. Jimmy Rowe, my son Jim, had his MRI yesterday, off to the GP today to find out how bad the damage is. Have you ever had an MRI? Have you been in one of those things?
I've had it for my back. When I came out of it, the operator, which I'm pretty sure they're not meant to do, went...
Sounds you don't want to hear.
Yeah. We're inspired by our very own oracle in David Penberthy, who's made ridiculous football predictions come true for fun on this program. It's not even surprising anymore. He just says it and everyone says, well, didn't see that coming.
I'm an idiot savant, Will, that's why.
You're just a savant now. I think you can drop the idiot part. So we're asking you about your own predictions. Make them. They don't have to be footy related.
No,
could be anything.
Footy.
Scott and Glenunga, good morning.
The Guinness World Record for the most toothpicks in a beard will fall this year.
Senator Simon Birmingham joins us.
Seen bounce back to a position where we've got more people in jobs today than we had back in March of 2020, virtually unheard of in any developed economy around the world to have recovered employment that quickly.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
8 after 7. I tell you what, Scott and Glenunga is currently leading the way on the meat tray, at least for the uniqueness of the prediction that he made. He sent us a picture, actually, of the incumbent world toothpicking beard record holder. And it's actually quite horrifying. Not sure if anyone will...
in?
I don't know. It's the whole everything about it is a mystery. The first question simply being why. But in any case, it is a world record, and it is Scott and Glenunga's Meat Tray Friday entry. I think it's a good one. 8223 0000 is the number if you'd like to jump into the meat tray discussion. Jimmy at Mr. Meats is providing a cracking meat tray. They're at 43 Grange Road, West Hindmarsh. We're asking for your predictions. Anything. Doesn't have to be sporting related. Could be absolutely. It doesn't have to be by the end of the year. It could be in 10 years' time or whatever time frame you like.
There's a nice one here. I predict that WA will take advantage of the turmoil in Canberra and secede. President McGowan will declare that the new republic will be called Wonderland, the capital Utopia, and the currency in McGowan. That's good.
Terrific text. Telstra Storm Out Barker text line. Unfortunately, a few people have seen the demise of the video and DVD store coming for a couple of years. A few have managed to hold on, but looks like we're going to lose another one, which will mean there are just 2 DVD stores remaining in South Australia, or there will be after March 31 when Leading Edge Video in Elizabeth Downs closes. Pat Mitchell is the owner of it. I don't say, I always feel sad doing these stories because one of the great family traditions, the Goodings family household, was going to the video store on a Friday after school, picking out your movies for the weekend.
We used to go down to, it was Video Easy on Dawes Road.
Yep.
And Dad and I often used to get I think it was 5 movies for $7.
Yep.
And we'd watch Mean Streets by Martin Scorsese. We'd watch all these. We'd get great old movies like Dad's favourite film, Inherit the Wind, about the trial of the first teacher who taught the theory of evolution. A fantastic old courtroom drama starring Spencer Tracy as Clarence Darrow, I think his name is, the lawyer. who successfully defended the teacher.
Yeah, great memories. Pat Mitchell, the owner of Leading Edge Video Elizabethtown, joins us. You must have so many people like that, Pat, that come through the store. It is a sad day. How do you feel about it?
Mixed emotions. Yes, it is a sad day, actually.
How long have you had the business, Pat?
14 years.
I got to say, I'm an analog guy, and I know these days it's all about streaming, and people have got accounts for Stan and Netflix and Apple TV. But I like the format, and it's like a library. It's like going to your local library. The physical act of walking around looking at shelves, to me, feels like a more satisfying way of accessing cinema.
A lot of people are saying that, but they've still got all the modern technology. It's a good, easy way of putting it. There's so much of it going around now.
You probably will have seen this coming for a while, Pat, given the changing behaviours of people. Did you think you could hold on for a couple more years, or were you always thinking that if you got to 2021, early 2021, you'd be doing well?
Well, no, I've been battling for the last 2 years, to be honest. And when the COVID came in, that didn't help because all the movies stopped getting made. And, it just made it hard. The lease ran out, and I'm not getting any younger. I'm nearly 73, so working 80 hours a week. It's a lot. But,
long hours,
I'm going to miss the atmosphere around the shopping centre is fantastic. It's a U-shaped group of shops, and it's a really big community down there, and it's a really good one. I get called Nana by a lot of the kids coming in. Oh, it's all for some respect, They tap on the window, they laugh, they come in, and the adults as well. It's really good.
Is there anything that we can do to help, Pat, in terms of, like, you're looking at having some sort of sale of your DVDs when the shop closes? Is that something that we could give a mention to?
Well, I've been having sale for the last 3 weeks going on, and it finishes on Wednesday, the 31st. And everyone's welcome to come in and get something if they want.
Yeah.
To buy them.
Yeah.
I'd give away if I could, but I can't afford to at the moment.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, Pat, we encourage all our listeners to get there. Thanks for talking to us. We appreciate it, and we wish you all the best with the next phase of your life.
Yeah, and I think you'll also find the video shop in Wales is still going as well.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, there's just two. There's just only a couple of them around, I
Two
think.
in the suburban areas, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, which is a shame.
Yeah, it certainly
we
is.
We used to have 5 out our way, and I'm the last one standing. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's
Well, good on you, Pat. Good on you for holding on as long as you did.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the time.
Good on you, Pat.
Pat Mitchell, Leading Edge Video Elizabeth Downs. If you know the area, or you're local, just go in and grab yourself a whole stack of DVDs. Help them out.
See, it's not just getting the videos. It's you get the barrel of M&Ms, and you get the bag of popcorn, and you get the 2-litre Coke, and settle in for a night of sugary snacks.
Well, and the people that ran the place, so often you could say, I remember parents being able to say, "So this one will this be the kids be okay with this?"
For sure, yeah.
And that was better advice ever than any classification.
Yeah, 100%.
You could ask a million questions, but yeah.
I tell you what, though, this was like an absolute juggernaut business for so long, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Video Easy sponsored major football teams. The Canberra Raiders was sponsored by Video Easy for decades. And everywhere, I think there's a huge shop on Semaphore Road that I used to go to as well many, many years ago. And, all gone. Well, almost all gone.
Well, I can tell you when the New York Video on Grange Road closed, there was a demonstrable drop to GDP in Australia on account of the late fees the Goodings household had been pumping into the economy for decades.
There used to be one years ago on King William Road that specialised in art house cinema.
Oh, really?
So you'd go in there and get a Pier Paolo Pasolini film, or some bit of work by the old Spanish surrealist Luis Buñuel.
See, if anything, you'd think that's probably the business model that could endure, because those things are harder to get access to.
Yeah.
They don't pop up on all your streaming services.
No.
So I don't even know where you'd go to find some of that stuff now.
Yeah.
Linda in Edwardstown's called in. Linda, have we got a cracking sunrise out there this morning, do we?
Yeah, it's beautiful. You better hurry up because it'll go in a minute.
Lucy just alerted me to that before. She said it's going to be a good one because Luce loves taking pictures of it every morning. So next few minutes, you reckon, Linda?
Well, it's fading now, but it was redder before. It was
right.
much better than that.
Do you take photos of them, Linda?
Nah.
You
Haven't got a decent camera.
You just enjoy the moment.
And my phone's an antique, so, yeah.
You sound like a video shop lady, Linda.
Yes, I am. Okay.
Good on you,
this
Linda.
digital age.
Thanks for calling us. Your phone worked well enough to call us. That's what matters. 8223 You can text us on the Telstra Store Mount Barker text line. Let's check traffic thanks to Dave Potter, Australia's #1 Honda dealer, second year running. DavePotterHonda.com.au.
A minor collision in the city West Terrace at South Terrace and an oil spill for Athelston Gorge Road near Ryan Avenue, causing a bit of a hazard there. At Croydon Park, South Road from Torrens Road to Pym Street, major traffic switches happen there. Outbound now able to go over the new bridge. With Amazon Prime, you can stream Amazon Originals and movies while also receiving free delivery on Prime eligible orders for $6.99 a month. Amazon Prime. It's Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Leon Biner.
The Treasurer has announced that the state government will offer to employ at least 50 extra ambulance officers as part of their commitment to improve the AMBO service. Phil Palmer, good morning.
I can tell you that we won't be accepting 50, so that's just a bit more BS from the Treasurer.
9 till 12 weekdays.
Our members are very annoyed at what they've read, because it sounds like it's a done deal. It's not a done deal. What he's put in the media will not be accepted by the union.
On 5AA.
Moving day-to-day business from this
You have 8 missed calls.
to this.
Great, so I'll see you at 3.
It starts with a business mobile plan that helps you work on the go. Search Optus Business today. Great business starts with yes.
Finally, you can get back to the Lion, and get back to a real local. Get back to a few cold ones before the footy, and a few celebratory ones after the game. Get back to a pint of Pirate Life South Coast Pale Ale, $6 on Adelaide Oval game days.
Back to the Lion.
Get back to mates, music, and a great atmosphere. Get back to the place you belong. The Lion Hotel, North Adelaide.
Dr. Greg Keane explains how SportsMed puts patients first every day.
SportsMed is different. We have a clinic and hospital with specialists, doctors, physios and podiatrists all together in one location. There's also pathology, radiology, pharmacy and a cafe. This makes life easier for our patients because their appointments can all happen right here. It also lets us diagnose issues quickly, leading to high quality, cost-effective care.
And their patients love it. SportsMed.
Start living life again with our expert help.
Sportsmed.com.au.
Why choose Bupa? Because you'll get 6 weeks free when you join on eligible products. 6 weeks free. That's 42 days free health insurance, or 1,008 hours free, or 60,400. Well, you get the point. Plus, we'll waive the 2 and 6 month waiting periods on most extras. Search Bupa 6 weeks free to find out more. Bupa, because life happens. T's and C's apply.
Now, this sounds like a dream gift for a Mother's Day weekend getaway, a fully hosted, exclusive and premium 3-day, 2-night package to Uluru.
I've never been to Uluru and I really want to go there. It starts with a private jet charter flying direct to Uluru, 5-star accommodation, a stunning Uluru sightseeing tour, a chance to witness the famous Field of Light display, plus a stack of other memorable experiences.
One of the few times in life that a landmark lived up to every expectation I had was seeing Uluru, and I didn't even get to go out to it. Just from coming off the plane at the airport at Alice Springs, well, on the way to call a game of football in Darwin, and just coming down the runway and looking at it dominate the landscape, it was breathtaking. We've all seen it, but it was actually every bit as magic as I thought it would, or hoped it would be.
You know the bloke who discovered it, worst writer ever. He was walking, and in his travel diary, he wrote, I had been walking in a northerly direction for about an hour where I came across a large rock and I named it after Mr. Air. But you just laid eyes on that. You surely can come up with a better sentence than that.
You wouldn't have hired him at the Daily Telegraph.
Back to the commercial.
This really is the only way to experience Uluru. You don't fly to Alice Springs, then sit in a bus for hours and hours like some tours. It's a direct flight to Uluru by private jet, if you don't mind. It departs May 7. Seats are limited from just $2,039 per person.
Far out. Really, your mum would love you forever if you did that. I'm sure she does anyway. Search NT Now. Book online at ntnow.com.au or call 1800 854 897.
At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, we believe that what you want is pretty straightforward. A service department that offers factory-trained mechanics,
Next day servicing, complimentary pickup and delivery, wash and vacuum is standard, brake, wheel alignment and shock absorber testing included, complimentary loan cars, breakfast or lunch is on us, and access Wi-Fi while you're waiting. Go online to book your service today and experience the difference. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
At Spotlight, a window's what you make it. Save a massive 50% off the entire range of ready-to-hang roller blinds and 40% off the entire range of ready-to-hang eyelet curtains. So you can cool it, block it and shade it for less. Exclusions apply. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
9 News, weeknights at 5, nightly at 6. The switch is on to the news that's live and local. 9 News, made in Adelaide.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
20 minutes after 7. Sam in Thevenden's called in with an entry for Meat Tray Friday. Thanks to Jimmy at Mr. Meats in Hindmarsh for asking you to make a prediction, any prediction you like. Sam, good morning.
Good morning, boys. How are we on this lovely day?
We're very well, thanks, Sam.
That's good. I've actually got 2 predictions. Okay, my first prediction is that I won't win the meat tray. All right.
Okay.
And my second prediction is when the radio ratings come out, you guys are going to be number 1.
There's a lot of psychology going on in this entry, Sam. A lot of psychology, and
I'm
I
like
all of it.
Ratings, schmatings, I say. I'm like Ty Webb and Caddyshack. I don't keep score. I don't keep score, Judge.
That makes one of us. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate that and your sentiments. Thank you very much. Lovely call.
If Ted from Ted's Cameras is listening, is he a real person?
Well, he looks like a cartoon version of a real person.
It's like, who is Jim from Jim's Mowing? Is he? There must be a Jim.
Maybe there was a Jim.
Big bloke with a bushy beard. Or I don't know. Well, Diamonds, they're excellent. They do a great job there. And Keith Collins done some work with them. I reckon we're getting so many great photographs through of today's sunrise. Someone here very modestly has sent through what I regard as one of the best photos of a sunrise I've ever seen. We'll put it up on the Twitter, Andy and Leafs. The youngsters in there know to use all the digital gear. They can pick that off Facebook somehow and stick it onto Twitter. This photograph of the sunrise at Loberthal how good is that photo?
That looks like a postcard.
It does.
Unbelievable.
It should be a poster for Loberthal.
Yeah.
It's got the Centennial Hall there on the left and then the hills in the background. Another great photo here from Con, Fiery Dawn over the parade. Then Dave from North Haven, he sent one of all the yachts berthed there. Another one here from Mark, cracking sunrise at Golden Grove. I was just saying to Will during the ad break, we're in a unique position on this show. We're always here working when the sun's coming up. And obviously not every day is going to work because some days the sunrise is totally ho-hum. But on days like today, we should try to get one of the camera stores to have like a weekly competition where you can win like a $200 camera voucher.
We'll have a sunrise off.
A sunrise off.
Yeah.
Best sunrise pics of Adelaide.
I think the Loberthal one would win it today. But, gee, there's
such a good photo.
Incredible competition. And we're having a look at some of them on the live stream now. So it always pays to jump on the 5AA Facebook and YouTube live streams.
Because it's words and pictures these days, isn't it, Will?
Oh, absolutely.
That's what it's all about.
Exactly.
It's a talkie.
And sometimes it's really fun because we totally forget we're on camera and you see all sorts of things that probably shouldn't be said or seen.
Exactly. Like us rolling eyes during political interviews or making obscene hand gestures.
Don't give away too much. We don't want everyone on the live stream because then we're in real strife, especially if lawyers start watching it. Now, back to the sunrises. They are on the live stream. You can watch them. And so what we do is we toss up images and bits and pieces that we're talking about right throughout the morning. The sunrise competition, I love the idea. We need to get that happening. So tweet us your sunrises at 5AA Breakfast, or you can send them in on the Telstra Store Mount Barker text line. John has called in on the mobile for the Meat Tray Friday prediction. Morning to you, John.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Good, thanks, John.
I predict that David's going to chuck the kids in that Hilux and go for a drive to Uluru.
Well,
I predict he might have some resistance on the home front on that one.
And I don't know about that. I reckon the kids will love the cattle grids on the way as well. 'Cause they are enormous out that way.
Wasn't the kids I was worried about, John?
The only way I can fit all 4 kids in the Hilux is if I don't bring my wife with me for the drive, and I reckon she'd regard that as a win-win situation.
Good on you, John. That's a good one. 8223 0000 is the number. We'll take a short break and talk sport in just a moment.
It doesn't matter what level you're at, from beginner to expert, the incredible team at Drummond Golf just love talking golf. Here's Shane from Drummond Golf.
G'day, Rowie.
Shane, is there anything you guys don't do?
We do the lot, from fitting you to the exact clubs best suited to your game and style of play. So you can also look the part. We've got plenty of clothing and we've got all the accessories to go with it.
Now, you guys have the best accessories. Seriously, it's like a golfer's wonderland down there. All the famous brands, and you also do lessons.
Absolutely. We'll get your handicap down. And don't forget, our driving range is there to hone your skills 7 days a week.
You're a legend, Shane. See Shane and the team at Drummond Golf, Enfield, Darlington, Mile End, Tea Tree Gully and the West Beach driving range.
Save up to 55% off discontinued Beautyrest black mattresses and ensembles now at Harvey Norman. Now's the time to upgrade your mattress and support Australian-made manufacturing. Plus, purchase with 60 months interest-free and receive a bonus gift card up to the value of $500. Minimum finance amount $1,000. Approved applicants only. 60 equal monthly payments. Interest applies if you do not comply with terms and conditions. Fees and exclusions apply. Save up to 55% off discontinued Beautyrest black mattresses and ensembles exclusive to Harvey Norman.
When people walk through the doors at Powell's, the first thing they say is wow. Not only because of the size and the selection, but also because of the team. Sam and Jamie have tasted every drop. They and their team can recommend a whiskey that's just as good as that hard-to-find Japanese one, if they don't have it, that is. Or a beautiful red that's reminiscent of that outstanding cellar door you once travelled so far to visit. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Powell's, next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
We can fix your oven, taps, space heaters, your irrigation system, roof leaks, rusting gutters and downpipes. We can even retile your bathroom. Ken Hall Plumbers, your local plumbers since 1983. Give Ken a call, 8364 5855.
Hi, Miles Fitzner here, and here's something refreshing for you. 4 of the most desirable vehicle brands in one beautiful location in SA. The beautiful Barossa is home to Ford, Kia, Volkswagen and Honda. With over 100 vehicles for immediate delivery, go and ask for Justin Wood, and he may even lead you to a local gem of a winery. Trust me, he'd know. Barossa Auto Group, Murray Street, Tanunda and Nuriupa, barossagroup.com.au, or call Justin on 8563 2045.
MVD 182170.
Port Adelaide are back. And so are we. We're back marching. We're back singing. We're back together. Experience it live, loud and in person. 3-game memberships from just $100. Grab yours from the Port Adelaide website today. You've got to be there.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
28 minutes after 7. Big interview Rowie had last night, as every Thursday night, with Caroline Wilson. Always fascinating. That must be one of the most listened to interviews each week, anywhere in radio in Australia. North Point Toyota's used vehicle stock constantly changing. Pop in and take a look. It's the North Point way. And last night, Eddie Maguire and the jumper debate were a feature of the discussion.
Eddie Maguire come off the top turnbuckle yesterday with you about the prison bar jumper. Where do you sit?
I think Port Adelaide should be able to wear their traditional jumper when they host showdowns. I'm not sure about 2 showdowns. I just think home showdowns once a year. I don't think it's hurting anyone. Radio stations in Melbourne here today have even taken talk back on it, and even Collingwood supporters are calling in and saying, look, you know, as long as it's not against us, as long as it's over in Adelaide for their big blockbuster game, we're fine with it. The AFL are interesting, you know. I mean, they probably should make a decision soon, the AFL, and put everyone out of their misery. Now, Ed says that it's not it's not a small thing, it's a jumper, but then he equates it to money and the fact that Port Adelaide have a debt and Collingwood don't. I mean, if he doesn't think it's a small thing, then how can he just make it commercial and about money? It's not about money at all.
Of course it's not.
It's about tradition and heritage, and I also think it's silly of Collingwood because it's galvanising Port Adelaide in supporters in a way that probably won't help them when they play Collingwood.
Footy Classified, Eddie pretty much answered on behalf of the board and his club, and I don't think he can do that. I think this is a great chance or opportunity for either the CEO or the president of Collingwood to say, no, we're not in step with Eddie. We think it's fine that Port Adelaide do that. It doesn't affect us. But again, it's up to the AFL.
I've got to say, it's one of the most menial things to die on a hill about.
But isn't that just typical of Eddie Maguire, though? And I totally agree with Caro's point that Eddie himself debased the value of the jumper by boasting about how much money it had made for the Collingwood Football Club. I think one of the other funnier aspects of this story was 2 weeks ago I saw one of those stock standard puff pieces that pop up in the papers from time to time where someone had sat down with Eddie over in Melbourne, bowling him a few, half volleys outside off about his, return to TV, back on Footy Classified. Ed, looking forward to the year ahead, and he said, "Oh yeah, one of the things is now I'm no longer Collingwood president. I'm no longer compromised. I'm just going to be, speaking independently." Well, geez, didn't he show that episode 1?
There's no difference between Eddie the president and Eddie the not president.
Reheating the oldest souffle in the book, the Port Adelaide jumper saga. It's just Victorian small-mindedness.
I don't think even most Victorian fans
I stand
care.
with Koshy.
I don't think most Victorians care, and I don't think half the Collingwood fans care, to be honest.
No.
Thanks to North Point Toyota, the all-new hybrid Kluger is coming to North Point. Register your interest today. It is the North Point way. Phil Curry in Canberra right after this.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy and 24 with the 7:30 news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
Woken with a stiff neck or sore back? Get a Physio Extra appointment today. 6 locations, physioextra.com.
A man wanted over a Woodville West house fire last week will be extradited back from New South Wales today. The 32-year-old allegedly set fire to 3 people on Calendar Place. One later died in hospital. He fled the scene before being arrested in New South Wales, where he's remained in a Sydney hospital. He's expected to be charged with murder. A man's been caught drink driving in Ceduna, blowing more than 6 times over the legal limit. The 35-year-old was also unlicensed and driving an unregistered and uninsured vehicle which was defected. He'll appear in court at a later date. Prime Minister Scott Morrison says he hasn't spoken to Brittany Higgins about rape allegations, despite more than a month passing since she went public. The former Liberal staffer quit last month and then alleged she'd been raped in Parliament House 2 years ago. Mr Morrison's told A Current Affair he's willing to have a discussion.
Why haven't you talked to her by now? It's been a month since she went public. Why wouldn't you talk to her?
I'd be very pleased to. She hasn't expressed an interest in doing that with me, but she's very welcome. Just I understand there's a letter together with a group of other women who'd like to talk to me about a range of things, and she'd be very welcome.
A report predicts it could take 25 years to close the gender pay gap based on current trends. Differences between executives are forecast to disappear within a decade, but it'll take longer for lower paid workers. Curtin Economics Centre's Alan Duncan says some industries will take longer than others.
The pace of change is such that for certain occupations in particular, we're very unlikely to see the gender pay gap eliminated at the same, if we continue at the same rate.
3,000 Commonwealth Bank staff could be in line to receive a combined $45 million. The finance sector union claims they're owed the money because the bank failed to provide 10-minute tea breaks. The Prince of Wales and Duchess of Cornwall are in Greece on their first international tour of the year. They're there to celebrate the bicentenary of Greek independence on the invitation of the Prime Minister. Prince Charles says it's an honour to be in the country.
Could not be more delighted to be back in Greece, which has long held the most special place in my heart. After all, Greece is the land of my grandfather and of my father's birth.
Hollywood actor Johnny Depp has lost his fight to appeal against a High Court ruling that he assaulted his former wife Amber Heard. More from Nine's Ben Avery in London.
London's Court of Appeal has found Johnny Depp should not be allowed to challenge the verdict from last year's defamation trial, which concluded the Sun newspaper was right to label the actor a wife-beater because the accusation was substantially true. Mr Depp's lawyers were seeking an appeal on the grounds his ex-wife Amber Heard had lied about donating her divorce settlement to charity. But the two Court of Appeal judges found there was no real prospect of the High Court's ruling being overturned.
Now turning to FIVEaa Sport.
Save up to $800 on selected Miele cooking appliances at Adelaide Appliance Gallery, home of Mr Dishwasher.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. There are calls for the AFL to make a decision on whether Port can wear its famous prison bar Guernsey in the showdowns this season. Former Collingwood president Eddie Maguire has been very outspoken, saying it won't and shouldn't happen, but the Power have since issued a release saying they won't be bullied by Maguire. Commentator Caroline Wilson telling Rowie the AFL needs to be strong.
Gillan McLaughlin would say he has this request in his inbox from Port Adelaide every year, and I think they probably should make a decision soon, the AFL, and put everyone out of their misery, because he's had it for a while.
The Power will train at Adelaide Oval this morning as they prepare to take on Essendon tomorrow. Meantime, the Crows will travel to Sydney this morning ahead of tomorrow's clash against the Swans at the SCG. And there was one game last night with Collingwood recording its first win of the season, beating Carlton by 21 points at the MCG. To tennis, and Ash Barty's in danger of being knocked out in the opening round of the Miami Open. She's down a break of serve in the deciding set of her match against Slovak Kristina Kuchova. And in the NRL overnight, Penrith beat the Melbourne Storm 12 points to 10 after a controversial finish. And that's the FIVEaa Sport.
Now checking FIVEaa traffic.
Dave Potter's Mad March demo clearance is on now, with huge savings and factory bonuses across the range.
Crews just clearing a minor collision at West Terrace near South Terrace in the city. An oil spill for Gorge Road near Ryan Avenue in Athelstone, they're just clearing up. And at Croydon Park, South Road from Torrens Road to Pym Street has a major traffic switch, with outbound now able to go over the new bridge. Priceline Pharmacy's massive half-price makeup sale is on now. Head in and snap up a bargain on all your favourite makeup brands. Hurry, sale ends Saturday at Priceline. It's Adelaide's most accurate traffic on FIVEaa.
Audi Solitaire, Metro Dealer of the Year. Visit audisolitaire.com.au.
Partly cloudy and 24 today, a possible morning shower tomorrow 22, partly cloudy on Sunday 23 and sunny for Monday 25. At the moment 14. More news as it happens on FIVEaa.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to FIVEaa Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
23 minutes to 8. Anthony Albanese will join us after 8 o'clock this morning in town for the ALP conference. Phil Curry will have more on that in a moment, thanks to the Australian Financial Review. You can text us at any time on the Telstra Storm Out Barker text line, or of course watch along on the FIVEaa Facebook or YouTube live streams and leave your comments there. You can win a meat tray today, being Friday, thanks to Jimmy at Mr Meats in Hindmarsh. We love Jimmy, we love Kathy, we love Mr Meats, 43 Grange Road at West Hindmarsh. One of the big talking points, of course, in federal politics, we spoke to South Australian Senator Simon Birmingham about it later, was Scott Morrison's interview last night with Tracy Grimshaw.
As best as I can. Now, I may not have always got it as well as people would like me to, but I assure you, I'm doing everything I can to understand it as best as I can.
If you are saying that you have been aware of the enormity of this issue preceding Brittany Higgins coming out a month ago, if you've been aware of it, at
a different level. This has taken me deeper into this issue than I've appreciated before.
Where have you been?
Well, I think that's a bit unfair, Tracy, because I think there are many people across this country who, you live with it every day. You've lived with it, I'm sure, your whole life. You have. And I'm sure almost every woman has.
Do.
And this is...
You're not on an island. Or maybe you're in a bubble. I don't know.
Phil Curry from the Australian Financial Review joins us. Phil, good morning.
Morning.
Scott Morrison, has he achieved anything with these couple of interviews he did yesterday and the press conference before it?
Oh, look, it's hard to say. I mean, he had a glitch at the first press conference on Tuesday when he lost his composure and caused a giant great distraction. But I think, look, you have to ask individual voters that. But look, he he's probably better late than never, but he's saying, I get it. I get what's going on out there now. It's taken this to sort of drive that home. But he's probably speaking on behalf of quite a few men, to be honest. Those of us with wives and so forth who sort of tell us this all the time. When he's basically saying this is not just about Brittany Higgins or Christian Porter or the sort of bizarre business that got reported in the Parliament this week. This is something that's much greater than the sum of those parts, and the anger and the magnitude of the anger it's provoked amongst women across the country, where it's sort of woken up a whole bunch of issues that they've had to deal with all their lives. As the Prime Minister said on Tuesday, everything from being talked over at work, not paid the same as a bloke, to being harassed sexually or but too scared to walk to your car. It's all those sorts of things, and it's all just sort of boiled over. So that's what he was saying last night and again on Tuesday. I now understand that. I now get what's going on out there in these. But it's one thing to be able to grasp it. It's an entirely different thing to be able to do anything about it instantly as such.
Isn't one of the things that could be done instantly though, Phil, and the Prime Minister seems to be hinting or suggesting that this is where his thinking is to have some sort of target to get more women into politics?
Yes. Yeah, so he said, look, he's always been of that view, actually. He's been of that view. Like, the Labor Party brought in targets and quotas starting back in 1994, so you had to have a certain percentage of women in candidates for winnable seats and stuff like that. And it's worked. Over time, it's worked. They're pretty much at 50-50 now in the Labor Party. I think it's 47-53, but had they won the last election, it would have been 50-50, I've been told. So, look, that in itself doesn't fix everything, but it does affect the cultural change. It's just logic. If you've got half the joint are women, then the whole culture changes and the expectations and the behavioural standards change. It's no longer a footy trip.
I thought exactly.
Yeah. Well,
I thought Matt Canavan accidentally made the point perfectly the other morning when he had that doorstop and said, "Look, quotas, targets, affirmative action rules are a dilution of democracy." Yet, if you look at the National Party's representation in the lower house, where electorates are represented and governments are formed, 9 out of the 10 national MPs are blokes.
Yeah, that's right. But that's right. So, the Prime Minister actually he went on about this some time ago. He's not sort of new to this idea of getting more women to the Liberal Party, but it's much more difficult in the Liberal Party, Dave, because they're just philosophically opposed to quotas, and the women are the strongest opponents of it. Liberal women I spoke to this week, people like Conchetta Fandy-Bills and that, especially the Conservative women, they just see it as a form of patronising women and so forth. The Liberal Party is at its core a party of choice. As one MP said to me, we joined the Liberal Party because we don't want to be told what to do. And if you were and they're much more democratic than the Labor Party in the way they pick their candidates. They have their rank and file ballots are much more sort of democratic in many cases. And if you tell electors you have to vote for a woman, you're probably going to get the other result. They just inherently don't like being told what to do. So it's not going to be as easy to do it in the Liberal Party. And I noticed the Prime Minister yesterday sort of qualified it a bit. He said, look, I don't care what mechanism we use as long as we get more women in. So he sort of, after a couple of days, he sort of had to walk back just from quotas themselves. And each state division has to do it. You can't mandate it from Canberra. The South Australian branch, the New South Wales branch, they all have to change rules and constitutions to do it. So I suspect it's not going to happen. I suspect they'll have to do it their own way. And as someone said, all the new Liberal MPs who came into federal parliament at the last election, there's quite a few of them, half of them were women. So if they can just keep doing that, they may join the 21st century eventually.
Phil, we've got D'Anthony Albanese coming up after 8 o'clock. He's in town for the Labor Party conference. You've written this morning about the China problem that Labor face at the moment.
Yeah, lock up your daughters. It's conference time. No, it's look, it's going to be those boring Labor Party conference probably since 2009. I think when Kevin Rudd shut down all debate and votes. There wasn't a single vote. This one was meant to happen last year. It got cancelled because of the COVID. They're doing it 2 days before Easter via Zoom. Now, to your listeners who don't know what the conference is, it happens every 3 years in Labor, and it's normally a huge occasion where delegates from all across the country gather in a city. And remember they had it in Adelaide last time.
We had a couple of great trips down to Hobart. It used to be always held at the casino, Phil.
That's right.
Vague memories of attending that in the late 90s.
Yes, exactly. Well, those days are over. But they're normally a big thing. They're a big launch pad for the leader, big speeches, policy announcements, and they have lots of debate over their policy platform, and the factions all have it out. And it's a really good exercise. It's actually, Labor, to its credit, allows us to watch its processes at work, and it's not always pretty. This time it's going to be all done by Zoom, and it's all going to be stitched up probably before the day. But there's a few blues on, but they're not huge. But I think the interesting one is China. There's a sort of fairly cursory mention of China as an important partner, blah, 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 in the platform. But, pardon me, people from the right, some of the hawks from the right want to toughen up that language to include some language condemning China's human rights record with the Uyghurs, and make a mention of Taiwan and Hong Kong, and Penny Wong, who's also on the left and the foreign relations spokesperson, she wants to sort of tone that down because you've got to sort of keep it consistent with the national interest. There's a sort of official Labor government position on China to try, because we're working on eggshells at the moment with Beijing. So it's all wrapped up in those internals. It's sort of very interesting if you're here, but probably not very interesting if you're sitting in Adelaide in your car in traffic at the moment.
Yeah, no, exactly. Is it here in Adelaide, Phil?
No, it's everywhere, Dave. It's
Zoom.
Yeah, it's in the ether, mate.
I just had a flashback, Phil. Did I change the breakfast order that was hanging on your door at the casino when we were down there at one of those Labor conferences?
That wasn't Mike Bowers, or did you?
Oh no, that's right. Yeah. I remember
there's a guy who had his breakfast order on the door.
I changed it to 2 bowls of prunes and a poached egg, one that's served at 5:30 in the morning.
No, the one I remember is a guy came back and he'd had a few, and the bloke next to him was a sleep bloke from AAP, and his name was Mike Bowers. He's a photographer for us, and he ticked everything in the box. And
That's right.
the next day, I think 2 waiters turned up with 2 full trays of everything.
That's right.
He said, "I just ordered cereal." He had about $300 on his bill for breakfast.
Back in the days when media companies could afford to pay for things like that too.
Yeah, you'd lose your job now.
Oh, absolutely. Exactly. Good on you, mate. Phil Curry from the Fin Review. You too.
14 minutes to 8. Somewhat a political prediction from our Albion correspondent Dave Lloyd for the meat tray this morning, thanks to Jimmy at Mr. Meats in Hindmarsh. His prediction, Kamala Harris will be President of the United States before the end of 2021.
That's a good prediction.
There's a lot to that.
Seeing Joe Biden walking on those stairs the other day suggests that, Dave from Melbourne might even want to bring that forward to July.
He was asked in the first press conference he's done, the first open press conference he's done since becoming president earlier this morning, about his intentions for the next US election in 2024. And he responded to the question in the same way that you or I would, or people listening would respond to a question about where do you think you'll be in 2035? Well, he said, I don't know where you folks are coming from, but I can't plan 2 or 3 years ahead. You're thinking, well, no, what? You're the president of the United States.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
yeah, it was. And then he was sort of asked questions about, well, so if you run, would Kamala Harris be your running mate? And he said, well, if I did, of course she would be. And, so you are running? Well, I mean, who can predict the future? God. All right, Joe.
He could end up becoming the fastest lame duck president in history if he's not careful.
Yeah, absolutely.
If the story takes hold that he's definitely not running again, he'll be regarded as a lame duck from the middle of next year.
Absolutely. He led more on the side that he would run again, but he had to be pressed, and it wasn't convincing.
Hasn't he handballed all the border management stuff to Kamala Harris as well?
He has.
It's interesting, isn't it? We'll talk about delegating.
12 to 8, let's check traffic thanks to Dave Potter Honda, Australia's #1 Honda dealer, 2nd year running, davepotterhonda.com.au.
Crews just clearing up an oil spill at Gord Road near Ryan Avenue in Athelston. Croydon Park South Road from Torrens Road to Pym Street. Just be aware there's a major traffic switch. Outbound now able to go over the new bridge. And busy spot South Road at Anzac Highway and coming off the expressway to South Road. Style your home with Freedom Homewares. Right now you can get 25% off their entire homewares range, including 25% off rugs, cushions, lighting and more. On now, only at Freedom. That's Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Hello, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years, the team at Lynn Andrews Real Estate have made it easy to manage residential and commercial property. Whether you own a single residential home or multiple commercial properties, our passion for property investment means we have a great deal of knowledge to share. How to invest safely and properly. Matching the right tenant with the right property every time. We're here to help. Visit lynandrews.com.au.
Finally, you can get back to the Lion, and get back to a real local. Get back to a few cold ones before the footy, and a few celebratory ones after the game. Get back to a pint of Pirate Life South Coast Pale Ale, $6 on Adelaide Oval game days.
Back to the Lion.
Get back to mates, music, and a great atmosphere. Get back to the place you belong. The Lion Hotel, North Adelaide.
At Spotlight, a window's what you make it. Save a massive 50% off the entire range of ready-to-hang roller blinds and 40% off the entire range of ready-to-hang eyelet curtains. So you can cool it, block it and shade it for less. Exclusions apply. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
Fresh nuts, mouth-watering chocolates and eye-popping Easter gifts. G'day, I'm Brett Charlesworth and there are 3 irresistible reasons to include Charlesworth nuts on your Easter shopping list. If you're a connoisseur looking for the absolute best and freshest nuts and can taste the difference, then give us a try. Share them with your guests or give a Charlesworth Easter gift and watch their eyes light up. 11 family-owned South Aussie stores or shop online right now and get it delivered. Why Charlesworth? Because fresh nuts taste better.
I don't really like talking on radio, but I do like talking about our cows at the FIVEaa Milk Company. And I love helping support SA dairy farmers. They're a great bunch with beautiful families. They work day and night to produce the best milk in SA. So when you're in the supermarket, look for FIVEaa Milk Company. South Australian and proud of it. I'm getting good at this.
FIVEaa Milk Company, celebrating 15 years of SA business. FLURIOMilkco.com.au.
For over 36 years, Steinborner certified cars has always exceeded expectations on value, service and selection, and that continues. That's why it's always well worth a trip to Steinborner certified cars in Gawler, Nuriutpa and Clare for great deals on new and demo Hyundai, Ford and Mitsubishis, plus SA's biggest and best range of used cars. Make the trip to one of Steinborner's 8 dealerships or view the whole range of cars now at steinborner.com.au and join the thousands who know. Steinborner certified cars. It's well worth the trip. 5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
9 minutes to 8. Let's talk about the weather. And without wanting to steal any of her thunder, really exciting news for the Easter long weekend coming up. Amelia Mulcahy from 7 News has it all, including the much more apparent and upon us this weekend weather. Morning to you, Amelia.
What a good hook, though, Will. I might borrow that later today for 7 News. Look, it is looking good next week, but, bit grey as we head into this weekend. We could see a slight chance of a shower today. A few clouds around, as I'm sure you can tell. That did help along a beautiful sunrise, though. I've seen some lovely photos on the 5AA Breakfast Twitter account. If you've got any more, send them in, or send them to 7 News, and we'll use them in the weather report too. Now, that cloud cover could lead to a shower, maybe more likely overnight. We're going for a top 24 degrees today. We've got a better chance of a shower early Saturday morning. So going for a top of 22 degrees on Saturday. Could see a couple of millimetres then. And, Saturday's forecast will kind of feel a little bit like yesterday. Quite grey in the morning, but it wasn't so bad as you got towards the afternoon. We've got a better chance of rain elsewhere. Again, our far north is sort of really in the firing line for that one. We've got storms sort of firing up about the far northwest, the west coast, parts of northern Eyre Peninsula today. By the end of the weekend, particularly about our far north, they could cop another sort of 15 to 30 millimetres, maybe up to 30 to 70 in storms about that far northwest pastoral districts. So, more rain on the way for there, but really we'd be lucky in the city if we see a couple of millimetres. We're going to hold on to that cloud cover on Sunday, so you can't rule out a possible shower, but then we're going to clear up and warm up next week. So sunny Monday, 25 degrees, up to 29 Wednesday, 30 degrees Sunday for the first day of April. So that's a pretty good lead into the Easter long weekend. So fingers crossed we can sort of hold on to those dry skies and a bit of warmth, especially so many people go away camping, the Easter long weekend. So hopefully that's an idea of what's to come for them. But for now, cool and grey as we head into the weekend.
Beautiful stuff.
Have a wonderful weekend, Amelia.
You too, guys. Enjoy your Friday.
Amelia Mulcahy from 7 News. And now, thanks to Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, the interstate freight distribution, warehousing and local Adelaide couriers experts. Call Aussie Fast 13 13 64. It's time for John Blake.
A climate change protest has caused major disruption to peak hour traffic in the heart of the city.
That happened not long after protesters were obstructing the intersection there when a fire truck needed to get through, creating dramatic scenes. That's on top of the chaos already caused as the Extinction Rebellion group occupied 3 intersections, one after the other.
Well, you can tell by the way I glue myself to the road. I got no brains at all. We don't listen to anyone because we're always right, but we know bugger all. You know it's not alright, it's not okay. You can't keep burning coal that way. We don't care about your kilowatt hour. You can survive on candle power. Whether you're a miner or whether you're a fighter, you'll never survive, never survive. Even though the evidence doesn't stack up, you'll never survive, never survive. No, 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 never survive, never survive. No, 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 never survive. Oh my God, that one! The Crows are going to win! The unbelievable win! There's the song! There's tears! Taylor with 5! Debutantes! That, Biggs, is football!
Oh, wow.
That, my friends, is football!
Look around, soak this up, because this is a famous win for this club.
No one gave the Snowballs bloody hope in hell. Crows stepped right up and beat Geelong. They were wooden spoon, shouldn't have been so soon. Crows fired right up and thrashed Geelong. They put on a show, and we all love Jimmy Rowe.
Oil prices have climbed on international markets amid fears supplies could be disrupted by the grounding of a giant container ship in the Suez Canal.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Now when I was captain of the ship and totally loaded with big containers, we suddenly lost all our power and steering. This could be serious for other traders. And then we couldn't stop turning around in the middle of the Suez Canal. The ship ran aground with no tugs around.
Golden Gate Time, the ice cream. Yeah, some guy. It's only one bloke that started a petition. He's only got
Stop it.
800 signatures.
Let's ring
Yeah,
you.
he's a twat.
So do you need someone to talk to? You clearly don't have anything to do.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, you're a poor, sad human being with nothing to do. Wants to change the name of Golden Gay Time because it's offensive to Australia's gay community.
I'm not content to be without Golden Gate Time. The biscuits that they crushed up go on the outside. The only time I feel alright is with ice cream. Please don't change the name of the Golden Gate Time. Don't change, it just isn't right. Don't change, it just isn't right. Don't change, it just isn't right.
We'll have more from John Blake after 8:30 when we go behind closed doors. Breaking at 8, not too far away. Ryan Fitzgerald still to come on the program this morning with a look ahead to the weekend's footy action. Speaking of which, a man participating in the Port Essendon game with all sorts of mixed emotions will be Orazio Fantasia back to play his old side. He'll be on the show after 8 o'clock today.
Port looked like his old side last week, though. It was the most seamless debut, wasn't it?
Certainly was. 4-4, and he gave a couple off too. Looking forward to chatting with him for the first time on 5AA Breakfast. And Anthony Albanese will join us right after 5AA News.
Know what's kick-ass? Getting out there and exploring the great outdoors. And the right gear can make it really kick-ass. For quality four-wheel drive and camping gear, use kick-ass products. Available only at australiandirect.com.au.
At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, we believe that what you want is pretty straightforward.
A service department that offers factory-trained mechanics, next-day servicing, complimentary pickup and delivery, wash and vacuum is standard, brake, wheel alignment and shock absorber testing included, complimentary loan cars, breakfast or lunch is on us, and access Wi-Fi while you're waiting. Go online to book your service today and experience the difference. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
Hi, Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. We've been helping Adelaide buyers and sellers for more than 35 years. That's why so many South Australians look to us for real estate advice. Right now, we're working with 5,253 buyers in Maylands, 5,496 in Goodwood, and 5,133 buyers in Brompton, all searching for their perfect property in these specific locations. If you're thinking of selling and would like to know how many buyers we're working with in your suburb, call 8362 8888 or go to toop.com.au.
At Spotlight, a window's what you make it. Save a massive 50% off the entire range of ready-to-hang roller blinds and 40% off the entire range of ready-to-hang eyelet curtains, so you can cool it, block it and shade it for less. Exclusions apply. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
At Harvey Norman, your technology specialists save $100 on the great value Asus 14-inch laptop. Now just $348. Acer Aspire 5 laptop with the latest 11th gen Intel Core i5 processor. Now $697, save $300. Or the ultra-portable HP Pavilion laptop, designed for exceptional entertainment, with an 11th gen Intel Core i7 processor, only $1,298. Now at Harvey Norman.
Go! Online, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy and 24 with the 8 o'clock news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
FIVEaa Extra is a registered NDIS provider, so let them support you in achieving your goals. FIVEaAextra.com.
A man accused of an arson attack at Woodville West will be extradited back to Adelaide from New South Wales today. The 32-year-old allegedly set fire to 3 people in a Calendar Place home last week. He then fled the scene before being arrested in country New South Wales. He's expected to be charged with murder after the blaze killed 1 man and injured 2 women. A man has been caught drink driving in Ceduna, blowing more than 6 times over the legal limit. He was also unlicensed and driving an unregistered and uninsured vehicle which was defected. The 35-year-old will face court at a later date. And a man's been arrested after allegedly stealing a car from a food delivery driver at Port Noarlunga. Senior Constable Matt Brown says he allegedly pulled a knife on the driver in Peterson Crescent before driving off.
Patrols quickly attended the scene and with the assistance of Polair they located the car abandoned nearby, and the suspect then slid down a 30-metre cliff at Port Noarlunga where he was met by police who were waiting at the bottom.
The 25-year-old man from Noarlunga has been detained under the Mental Health Act. Australia's economic recovery has led to a $23 billion boost for the budget bottom line. The government's received about $10 billion more in tax revenue and has had to spend less on welfare than previously expected. Chris Richardson from Deloitte Economics says we got it right with the pandemic response.
It helps that Australia broadly did the right thing. We did the right thing in pushing back against the virus. That allowed us to open up. That allowed the economy to work. So, even though we had all these expensive emergency measures, they became less expensive.
While Federal Health Minister Greg Hunt has declared all COVID vaccine appointments must be free, it comes after several pensioners in SA were forced to pay $70 out of pocket for a pre-vaccination appointment. The Department of Health followed up the claims and found charging patients for any consultations would be a breach of the COVID program. US President Joe Biden has doubled his administration's COVID vaccine target. More from Nine's Amelia Adams in the US.
On day 65 of his presidency, Joe Biden held his first White House press conference announcing a new goal, 200 million doses of COVID vaccines in his first 100 days. He addressed the surge of migrants at the US-Mexico border, insisting he's working to strengthen a system he says was dismantled by the Trump administration. On China, President Biden committed to holding Beijing accountable to follow international rules. He said the US will respond to North Korea's launch of ballistic missiles if the threats escalate, and asked whether he's planning to run for the White House again in 2024.
The answer is yes. My plan is to run for re-election. That's my expectation.
Police have carried out coordinated counter-terror raids in Melbourne and Brisbane. The target was a sophisticated Australian terror network which pays foreign fighters to travel to Syria to join a jihadist group. Authorities believe the group's responsible for Australia's first suicide bomber, who killed 35 people. 2 men were arrested and charged following yesterday's raids. Now turning to FIVEaa Sport.
Save up to $800 on selected Miele cooking appliances at Adelaide Appliance Gallery, home of Mr Dishwasher.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. It is selection night for the Crows and Port Adelaide ahead of their matches tomorrow. Both sides set to make changes ahead of those games. Meantime, Collingwood has picked up its first win of the season, beating Carlton by 21 points. The Pies scored 6 goals in the opening term to set up the result. Coach Nathan Buckley says the win was encouraging.
We saw a greater intent across the board from our players, and it wasn't all on our terms in the third quarter when Carlton were coming. We actually defended really well. Our pressure went up, our tackling went up.
Round 2 action continues tonight when Brisbane takes on Geelong at the Cattery. To tennis, world number 1 Ash Barty is fighting hard to avoid defeat in her opening match at the Miami Open. Taking on Slovak Kristina Kuchova, Barty has saved a match point and she's now serving for the match herself at 6-5 in the deciding set. Earlier, Thanasi Kokkinakis, Jordan Thompson and Storm Sanders all recorded wins. To cricket, and still no play between Queensland and South Australia after the first 3 days of their Shield clash in Brisbane were washed out. Meantime, the first test between the West Indies and Sri Lanka has just finished in a draw in Antigua. Chasing 375, the home side finished at 4 for 236. Nkrumah Bonner finishing unbeaten on 113. And in some golf action, 3 Aussies are playing at the World Match Play event in Texas. Cam Smith is 3 down through 11 holes against Ian Poulter. Jason Day is 1 down through 10 holes against Xander Schauffele, while Mark Leishman is all square through 14 holes against Sung Jae Im. And that's the FIVEaa Sport.
Now checking FIVEaa traffic.
Dave Potter, Australia's #1 Honda dealer, 2nd year running. DavePotterHonda.com.au.
Crews at a collision in Windvale at Grenfell Road near Golden Grove Road. South Road at Anzac Highway is starting to pick up now, as well as coming off the expressway onto South Road. And in Croydon Park, South Road from Torrens Road to Pym Street, just be aware there's a major traffic switch for outbound traffic. At Spotlight, it's National Make It Month with savings across their sewing range. VIPs save 40% off all fabric by the metre. Sale on now, exclusions apply. That's Adelaide's most accurate traffic on FIVEaa.
Audi Solitaire, Metro Dealer of the Year. Visit audisolitaire.com.au.
Partly cloudy and 24 today, a possible morning shower tomorrow, 22. Partly cloudy for Sunday, 23, and sunny on Monday, 25. At the moment, 14. More news as it happens on FIVEaa.
Down on the corner, out in the street.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to FIVEaa Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
7 minutes after 8, if you're watching along on the FIVEaa Facebook or YouTube live stream, you'll note that we have been joined in the FIVEaa Breakfast studio by the leader of the Labor Party federally, Anthony Albanese. Anthony Albanese, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good to be here in Adelaide.
Welcome to Adelaide, Albo. We know you've been here plenty of times over the last few years. One half of 2 tribes, of course. Did you ever catch up with your old sparring partner, Chris Pine?
He was on the plane last night, so we waved at each other.
Yeah, right.
But
you didn't swap seats so you could sit next to each other for 2 hours? Or?
I did do... No one needs to do that. there were empty seats either side of him, I'm just saying, on a packed plane. But I did do his podcast. That was actually good fun. Yeah, Pine Time, there you go. I'll give him a free ad.
Become a media figure, Chris. He's quite a good columnist for the Times.
I think he's almost now a competitor to us more than Anthony.
Yeah, he is.
Tries to be.
Yeah.
Tries to be. I'm still on your side.
Good on you.
Notice how I worked in our slogan for the next election there?
Oh, yeah. Well, very subtle. Seamless. Very subtle. Hey, what a horrible week, what a horrible month it's been in federal politics. Can I just ask you, though, it feels to me like all of the attention on the government has let Labor off the hook, because I don't think that either side of politics has a monopoly on the bad treatment of women. Do you, as leader of the Labor Party, have you had to have any quiet conversations with any of your blokes?
No, but I've never argued that the Labor Party is immune as other parts of society aren't immune. This is a very broad problem that exists. There's a power imbalance in society, so there's no reason to think that that hasn't occurred. Bad things have occurred in the Labor Party in the past. There's no question about that.
How does Parliament as an entity change the culture, though? Because there are still live things on your side too. There's the Facebook site that Sam Maiden wrote about, talking about female staffers. On the Labor side, sharing some stories, some of which probably involve people who are still in the parliamentary party.
Well, we have two things. One is the Jenkins review is important, and it's important, I think, that it established some form of arm's length mechanism, independent mechanism to sort out these issues so staff can feel confident they have somewhere to go, just like the Independent Parliamentary Expense Authority, a body that sorts out entitlements of MPs, has made a difference. And the Parliamentary Budget Office has made a difference to election commitments, independent costing. It needs some form of independent body that isn't there at the moment, because the relationship between a Member of Parliament and their staff is different from others in sort of employer-employee relationships. The truth is employees have little power under the Act that governs the employment of staff. So there needs to be something addressed. I have confidence in Kate Jenkins, but we've also set up internal mechanisms within the Labor Party. We have a code of conduct, we have a sexual harassment policy, we have a bullying policy, and we have a complaints process that's been set up over a period of time in 2018 and then was improved by the National Executive, adopted before these current issues were raised.
The parliamentary element of that, the proposals and changes sound reactive insofar as they're mirroring what we have in private enterprise, where you've got an HR department, you've got complaints handling and whatnot. To the preventative measures that are possible, there are unique challenges faced by Parliament. It's remoteness, the availability of alcohol, the nature of the business is different to other places.
It is.
Does there need to be some attempt to address some of those things that do make it unique?
Oh, of course there are.
So what kinds of things need to change?
Well, I just think, some of it's just cultural change in the way that the place operates. I think there has been a huge wake-up call. I mean, quite frankly, I'm shocked by some of the stuff that was reported this week. You just really do shake your head. I mean, someone engaging in solo self-satisfaction onto the desk of an MP is just strange, to say the least. Like what?
By way of understatement.
Yeah. In what world does someone think, I know, I've got a good idea, and I'll film it and circulate it around a group of friends? So it seems to me that that's the sort of weird culture that you see sometimes, it's got to be said, in some the activities you see on buses and public transport that's got publicity from time to time from some of the really elite schools that have been embarrassed by that. We've got to address the whole issue of respect for women throughout our society. And the first thing to do is we've got to listen to what they're saying and that these issues are real.
I've got to say, Albert, it feels to me like at the moment the government's clearly rattled and distracted by the enormity of this issue and the Prime Minister's inability to shut it down. And it feels like Labor has got a vested interest in maintaining that situation for as long as possible. Meanwhile, there's all these other issues, like JobKeeper's about to expire.
Absolutely.
People aren't getting vaccinated. But it feels like everyone in politics this week has wanted to talk about nothing other than blokes having a crack at desks and, sending pictures around. I worry that it's done collateral damage to politics as a profession and Parliament as an entity, because it looks like no one's actually thinking about the average person listening to FIVEaa right now.
Well, you're right. There's no doubt that there's been damage done to politics. But we this week were raising questions about JobKeeper ending this weekend. 150,000 people will essentially lose JobKeeper. That means less income for them, the potential loss of their jobs. It means those businesses having the support withdrawn from them. There's a range of other issues as well. We raised this week the floods that we've seen, the Emergency Response Fund that was set up a couple of years ago. It's a $200 million allocation every year. $50 million of that is for mitigation. So you don't wait for the disaster, you try and fix things in advance. Not a dollar of that fund has been spent. There are so many issues out there that we raised in Parliament this week, but this is a government really that didn't have any legislation this week. We discussed a thing called the Appropriations Bill, which is really people can stand up and talk about whatever they want for most of the week. This is a government that I think is looking like a tired 8-year-old government that really needs a bit of time out of government to try and sort itself out.
Anthony Albanese, Leader of the Opposition, great to see you in Adelaide. We'll catch up again soon. Thanks for coming in.
Good to be here.
A little disappointing, given that you're a one-time contributor to the program, you didn't get the dress code. I mean, coming in here with a suit.
I know.
Well, I haven't got a tie on at least.
No, you did. You
So
you tried.
I took it off,
Yeah.
but it would be pretty... And I had a shave, which is...
I mean,
you've done better than us then.
You knew the standards, is all I'm
I
saying.
got my best Billabong T-shirt on especially.
Anthony Albanese, our guest.
And it's only got a few holes in it.
Yeah, that's right. 15 minutes after 8.
G'day, it's Bix here at Jarvis Toyota. I've come for a test drive of the all-new Toyota Hilux. Now, the new Hilux is just amazing. It's got more power, better fuel economy, it's packed with intelligent safety features, plus it comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. Great for my old school playlist. Rediscover the road in the all-new Toyota Hilux. Come for a test drive and take home the feeling. Jarvis Toyota, South Road, Clovelly Park.
At Spotlight, a window's what you make it. Save a massive 50% off the entire range of ready-to-hang roller blinds and 40% off the entire range of ready-to-hang eyelet curtains. So you can cool it, block it and shade it for less. Exclusions apply. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
This week's specials at Foodland. Cadbury Family Blocks 160 to 180 grams. A sweet Easter treat, just $3.50. Mars Fun Size Bags 144 to 216 grams. An Easter essential for half price, only $2.50. And Mainland Tasty Cheese Block 1 kilo. A cheesy good deal, just $9. Till March 30th while stocks last.
Great food lives here, Foodland. The mighty South Aussies, yeah.
How do you know you're in South Australia? Well, we make a great coffee. We're Festival Mad. And we have Leader Computers. Yep, world-class Leader Computers are made and serviced right here in Adelaide. It means everything you need for your business or home computing is local, not overseas, not interstate. So if something does go wrong, there's no runaround. Live life local. Live life Leader. Leader Computers. To find your local dealer, visit leadersystems.com.au.
9 News, weeknights at 5, nightly at 6. The switch is on to the news that's live and local. 9 News, made in Adelaide.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
17 minutes after 8. Been looking forward to this all week. Get a FIVEaa from $49 up front on a payment plan. T's and C's at FIVEaa.com.au.
Orazio Fantasia. Intercepted almost by Orazio Fantasia. Orazio Fantasia. Orazio Fantasia. Orazio Fantasia. Orazio.
Oh, ho, ho, it's magic. You know.
For the first time on 5AA Breakfast, we love getting new regulars on. It's Orazio Fantasia. Orazio, good morning to you, mate.
Good morning, guys. Sorry, I was laughing at that as well. That's a great intro.
Mate, do you feel like you've been cursed by BT? Like, you have people coming up to you in the street going, Orazio!
No, I don't have it in the street, but I probably have to thank BT, to be honest. He probably gave me a bit more popularity that I probably deserved at the early stages of my career.
I reckon you won a few admirers back here in SA too for kicking 4-4 on the weekend. How have you found the move back to South Australia?
Yeah, I've been loving it, guys. Just being back, I've said it many times, like my family is massive to me. So to be able to be home with them and my partner and stuff has just made me a lot more stable. And then the club's a special place. Like from the outside watching, it always looked like they were so tight and connected. But when I walked in the door, I just felt like I was home. It was just such a family club, and it's been awesome so far.
You look like you'd spent your whole life playing for Port last week. All right, so like it didn't look like your first game where you're sort of trying to work out, how you fit in and everything else. Like it just looked like you're pulling on an old pair of slippers in that jumper.
Nah, not at all. I think the way we play suits our forward line to a T. We move the ball nice and quick, and we like to get it into some one-on-one. So that helps me. And if we can move the ball quick, I like to use my speed as well, and that definitely helps.
So, mate, I saw in the Tizer the other day, you were talking about how since you've moved back home, and you just said now how important your family is to you. So tell us a bit about your family life, and also I'm keen to hear about your mum's cooking, because you were saying that the great thing about being home. What sort of stuff have you been getting into?
Well, I have to get you guys out for dinner then, don't we? A bit of pasta, a few schnitzels or something like that.
That's right.
Last night we had some stuffed capsicums, which was beautiful.
Oh, yum.
So, everything. Mum's a great cook, and I try to do my best when I was over in Melbourne and eat as healthy as I could, but I don't have the talent that she does in the kitchen, that's for sure.
So is it sort of northeastern suburbs? Is that your part of town? Like you grew up round that neck of the woods?
Yeah, well, I played all my footy and junior footy at Payneham, Norwood Union and Norwood, so I grew up around that area my whole life, and all my family. It's a big Italian family. They're probably a K radius within from Kensington to Glyn, they're all in the same sort of area.
So getting into the Glyn Deli and getting out to Mikado and Nino's and all the rest of it for all that great Italian tucker?
Of course, there's prosciutto and all the good stuff.
Yeah.
So Norwood Payneham isn't exactly Port Adelaide heartland.
It's not.
Growing up, what was your perception of Port, and what did you get right and what did you get wrong now that you're inside the club?
Well, I didn't really have a perception, to be honest. I liked the Crows because my family went to the Crows, but I just liked certain players, I guess. Like, I just loved Andrew McLeod. Like, he was the main reason why I loved footy so much, because it's just the way he played. So I didn't really have too much of a perception of any other teams, really, growing up. It was just sort of him. He was my idol, really, and that was all I really focused on.
So do you still barrack for the Crows now, Razzio?
Definitely not. And none of my family do. So,
you converted your whole family.
No. Of course. It's not happening.
It hurt the membership numbers.
I'll say.
We're up 50,000, so
that's right.
That's part of
It's like branch stacking.
Yeah.
So you're up against the old side this weekend. Have you caught up with Matthew Lloyd's comments about them being unsociable to you and not shaking hands, not being welcoming, giving you the cold shoulder? What do you make of that?
I haven't read it, mate. No, but to be honest, it doesn't really bother me. Like, I think it'll be before the bounce, there'll be bumps and whatever. Like, that's fine, but once the ball bounces, I'm there to play footy and there to play for my new team. So, I love those guys and got great relationships, but for the 2 hours we'll play the game, and I'm sure afterwards there'll be handshakes and hugs and stuff like that. But, it'll be good fun. I look forward to it, definitely.
You got have you been brought up to speed by your Port fellows to this point on the fight over the prison bars jumper? It flared up again this week. Eddie Maguire saying it's not on.
I heard that, yeah. I'm not sure what Eddie was meaning. So he's saying we're not allowed to wear it, or he doesn't want us to wear it.
His view is it sort of, belongs to black and white. That Collingwood actually own the shades black and white, which is very surprising.
That
I'm not sure if he's spoken to Juventus about it yet, but in any case, he says that they own them and that
all the pandas at the zoo.
Yeah, that's no. I think there's legal action pending on that front. So he says you can't even wear them for the showdown here. Is it something that gets spoken about internally? Because it's an important part of your club's history.
Yeah, I think you're right. We haven't touched on it as a team as such to say, like, oh, this is ridiculous. But I think you've seen some social media over the last 24 hours from the club, and all the boys have jumped on board as well. And I think we should wear them. Even watching the guys play, they love playing for those colours. So, yeah, I think it's pretty special. And if we can do it, I'd like to do it.
Well, mate, as we said, that was a hell of a debut last week, and welcome back to Adelaide. You really are, You know, think about guys over the years like Paul Puopolo and people like that have, you know, soared coming from your neck of the woods on the eastern side of town, and now crossing the road over down to Alberton. What a journey, but what a start, and all the very best of luck for the rest of the season. Now you're back home, mate.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Looking forward to it. Orazio Fantasia Waden week, Hamish Hartlett the next. We've got Tom Duday each and every week. We've got a good crop this year, I've got to say.
It's excellent.
If you're giving anyone draft grades, 5AA Breakfast gets the A+.
Absolutely.
They're good fun, all of them. That's going to be really enjoyable. Get a Pure Tap from $49 up front on a payment plan. T's and C's at puretap.com.au.
Rowie Sport Show.
Caroline Wilson, we love our chats. Eddie Maguire come off the top turnbuckle about the prison bar jumper. Where do you sit?
I think Port Adelaide should be able to wear their traditional jumper when they host Showdown. I don't think it's hurting anyone.
4 p.m. weekdays.
Radio stations in Melbourne here today have even taken talk back on it, and even Collingwood supporters are calling in and saying, look, you know, as long as it's not against us, we're fine with it.
I think they'll get it, there's no question.
Rowie Sport Show on 5AA.
Save up to 55% off discontinued Beautyrest black mattresses and ensembles now at Harvey Norman. Now's the time to upgrade your mattress and support Australian-made manufacturing. Plus, purchase with 60 months interest-free and receive a bonus gift card up to the value of $500. Minimum finance amount $1,000. Approved applicants only. 60 equal monthly payments. Interest applies if you do not comply with terms and conditions. Fees and exclusions apply. Save up to 55% off discontinued Beautyrest black mattresses and ensembles exclusive to Harvey Norman.
Go! The Barbecues Galore Big Brand Easter Sale is on now. Like the 4-burner Malibu Barbecue, just $449, save $150. Up to $400 off Kamado Joe. And up to a huge 40% off outdoor furniture. Hurry, the Big Brand Easter Sale is on now at Barbecues Galore.
The 19th West, a premium home and land collection with front row views of the Grange Golf Club's manicured fairways and the tree-lined linear park walking trails. Secure your pre-launch appointment today. Visit the19thwest.com.au.
You might think having thousands of pals is excessive, but that's not what the team at Parafield Airport Liquor Store think, because that's how many they have. Sure, they might be made up of over 100 gins, over 200 whiskies, over 300 craft beers, and over 2,000 boutique wines. But they're some of the best pals you could have, and they're always looking for more, even if they are tricky to track down. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals, next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
Hop into Cheapest Chips for an excellent Easter.
Cheapest Chips.
You'll love our yummy chocolate Easter bunnies and eggs. Whether your favourite is Violet Crumble, Fruit Chocks, or just plain old Chocky, there's something for everybody. Plus, don't miss our huge range of Easter toys, craft, decorations, and gift ideas, including Paw Patrol and Barbie boxed Easter gift sets. Cheapest Chips has everything you need for a happy cheapster. I mean, Easter. Live cheaper every day at Cheapest Chips.
At Spotlight, a window's what you make it. Save a massive 50% off the entire range of ready-to-hang roller blinds and 40% off the entire range of ready-to-hang eyelet curtains, so you can cool it, block it and shade it for less. Exclusions apply. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
Hop into Coles for half-price chocolate treats. There's Cadbury Favourites Cream Egg 820 grams, Mars Maltesers 400 grams and even Toblerone 360 grams, all half price. Coles. Value the Australian way. Offer ends Tuesday, April 6 while stocks last.
I used to think a good day on the golf course was coming home with more than one golf ball, but my game has really stepped up thanks to Shane from Drummond Golf.
Hi Tom, how's the handicap going?
Well, I've been personally my-matched by you and I'm hitting longer, straighter and higher than I ever have before. I've dropped 8 shots in the past 6 months.
That's fantastic. We want people to love golf as much as we do. Just like we did for you, Tom, we put you through the My Match process to pick the right clubs for you. We also do lessons at the driving range and kit them out in the best gear, all aimed to reduce their handicap.
Well, it has worked a treat for me. I cannot recommend it enough. Go and see the team at Drummond Golf. Thank you again, Shane. Enfield, Darlington, Myland, Tetra Gully and the West Beach driving range.
Can I get a price check in aisle 4? I just can't believe that Synovus vitamins, with over 80 years of trust and expertise in every tablet, are as affordable as they are.
Be clever healthy.
The new Nissan Navara is the ultimate work vehicle, built tough with advanced tech to get the job done. Speak to your local Nissan fleet experts today about tailoring a vehicle solution for your business needs.
FIVEaa Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to FIVEaa Facebook or search FIVEaa on YouTube.
Most people I know think that I'm crazy.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to FIVEaa Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Coming up to 29 minutes after 8. Ryan Fitzgerald very shortly, but first time for Fuel Watch. Petrol $1.25 at the Coles Express on the corner of Finnan Road and Grange Road. $1.24 on Beach Road and Christie's Beach. $1.23 on Port Road through Albin. And $1.21 at the OTR on the corner of Portrush and McGill Roads. And $1.21 North East Road and Collinswood at the OTR there. You can still call in and win a meat tray today thanks to Jimmy, Mr. Meats in Hindmarsh. 8223 0000 or text us on the Telstra Store Mount Barker text line. Make a prediction on absolutely any subject you like. I mean, there have been as diverse as predictions about football, politics, and the toothpick in beards world record.
We still have a asterisk next to the name Scott from Glenunga as well. But without wanting to put the mockers on you, Scott, there's 31 minutes to go, folks. So if you've got some wild prediction on any topic, give us a buzz.
Absolutely. 8223 0000.
Breaking at 8's become breaking at 8:45. It's a goodie as well, but we're going to get to it after Fitzy. We had to shuffle a few things around, but stick around. It's about this quite scandalous story involving the Firefighters Union on the front page of the Tiser.
This is Adelaide's FIVEaa.
Partly cloudy and 24 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
Woken with a stiff neck or sore back? Get a Physio Extra appointment today. 6 locations, physioextra.com.
A man who allegedly set fire to 3 people at Woodville West last week will be extradited from New South Wales today. The 34-year-old doused a man and 2 women in flammable liquid inside a home on Callender Place. Following a manhunt, he was arrested in New South Wales. He'll return to SA today, where he's expected to be charged with murder after the male victim died in hospital. A faster than expected economic recovery has seen the budget bottom line improve. The budget deficit for the financial year to date is $23 billion better off than what was forecast. Chris Richardson from Deloitte says it's a strong result, but we're not out of the woods just yet.
To be clear, we will still have a budget quite deeply in the red this year. It's just looking as if it will be much less than originally feared. And, you know, there have been ups and downs along the way.
It's expected to be at least 25 years before the gender pay gap fully closes in Australia. The Curtin Economic Centre's compiled a report analysing the current trends based on more than 4 million workers. The Centre's Alan Duncan says some careers are making more progress than others.
Particularly those in clerical or community and personal services occupations. You know, the closure of the gap is really a long way away.
The US President has set a new goal for the nation's COVID vaccination program. Joe Biden wants to see 200 million doses of the jab administered in his first 100 days of office. Speaking at his first formal news conference, he says the country's a world leader.
We will, by my 100th day in office, have administered 200 million shots. That's right, 200 million shots in 100 days. I know it's ambitious, twice our original goal, but no other country in the world has even come close.
The alleged Colorado killer has faced court for the first time, accused of murdering 10 people at a grocery store. More from Nine's Michael Genovese.
Pushed into the courtroom in a wheelchair, Ahmad Alissa was flanked by 5 armed officers. He didn't speak or enter a plea. The judge agreed to his lawyer's request for a mental health assessment and pushed his next hearing back up to 90 days. The 21-year-old is charged with murdering 10 people, including a police officer at a supermarket in Boulder, Colorado. Prosecutors say they'll file further charges in the coming week.
AFL footballer Sydney Stack will return to Melbourne in the coming days after being sentenced for breaching WA's quarantine rules. The Richmond player was fined $6,000 on top of the 3 weeks he spent in jail. The 20-year-old still has to serve part of a 10-week ban for an earlier breach of AFL protocols. Now Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Save up to $800 on selected Miele cooking appliances at Adelaide Appliance Gallery, home of Mr Dishwasher.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Port Adelaide forward Orazio Fantasia says he's not bothered by suggestions he may be roughed up against his old club Essendon tomorrow. Former Bomber Matthew Lloyd says he wants them to make life uncomfortable for the 25-year-old. Fantasia telling David and Will he'll just look to get on with things.
It doesn't really bother me. Like, I think it'll be before the bounce, there'll be bumps and whatever. Like, that's fine. But once the ball bounces, I'm there to play footy and I'm there to play for my new team.
And there was one game last night with Collingwood 21-point winners over Carlton. To tennis, Ash Barty has saved a match point to avoid an embarrassing end to her title defence in her first match at the Miami Masters. She blew a set and a break lead against the world number 149, Kristina Kuchova, before going on to win in 3. Barty says she refused to accept defeat despite a horrible start to the final set.
Never ever give up. I mean, you're always in with a chance, and today was really hard work, and I enjoyed every single minute of it. I think there's nothing like coming through a test like that, and now I get another opportunity in a couple of days' time to play another tough match and test myself again.
Yeah, great result, and it's full-time in World Cup qualifying action this morning. England with a comfortable 5-0 win against San Marino. Italy beat Northern Ireland 2-0. Germany had a 3-0 win over Iceland. Spain and Greece played out a 1-1 draw, while Hungary and Poland played out a thrilling 3-3 draw. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Dave Potter's Mad March demo clearance is on now, with huge savings and factory bonuses across the range.
Crews just clearing a collision in Windvale at Grenfell Road near Golden Grove Road. Busy spots on the North-South Motorway, Goodwood Road inbound from Crossroads sluggish, and through the school zone slowing at Old Belair and Blythewood Roads. At Camera, Penfold Road, McGill. Is a sore back keeping you up at night? Then get into 40 Winks, your back's biggest supporter. Get up to 50% off the back care range. Ends this Sunday, 40 Winks, serious about sleep. It's Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Audi Solitaire, Metro Dealer of the Year. Visit audisolitaire.com.au.
Partly cloudy and 24 today, a possible morning shower tomorrow, 22. Partly cloudy for Sunday, 23, and sunny on Monday, 25. At the moment, 15. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
24 minutes to 9, Ryan Fitzgerald in just a moment. Before that, though, a little belatedly, it's breaking at 8:36.
Breaking at 8:36, fantastic story on the front page of today's Advertiser by Gabrielle Polychronis and one of the best investigative journos in Australia, Nigel Hunt. Metropolitan Fire Service Chief Officer Michael Morgan has launched an internal investigation after 2 senior firefighters were recorded discussing intentionally delaying the purchase of new trucks so they wouldn't undermine a union campaign for more resources. Now, the Advertiser reveals that the officers laughed about not using nearly $2 million in available funding for new appliances. That's for trucks, fire trucks, that are designed to keep the public safe. And this damning, shocking audio shows that for its own base industrial needs, so that it would better suit a campaign, there was a potential conspiracy to delay their purchase. This is in a state that's consistently ravaged by bushfires, and where, 2 or 3 times a week we hear stories about arsons being committed around town. The evidence is damning, and we have obtained the audio of the conversation.
So I was dead keen to go out and buy some tankers, and she said, "You're actually going to undermine the union if you just go and help the government solve their problem." And I went, "Yeah, I can see that."
That was the option if we had to get rid of the money, in the next 6 months.
I understand. So perfect. That's what we need.
And it goes on. There's 4 minutes of that. Now, I reckon we've shown that we act without fear or favour on this program when it comes to unions. We gave it to the AEU rightly last year with both barrels over their despicable slur against Nicola Spiria. Equally, over the last month, we've given a very favourable hearing because we're interested in people at the front line. And that's why we've had every Ambo in South Australia almost on the show, telling their real stories about what life is like at the front line in the ambulance service. However, in this case, it is bordering on criminal what this union has done. We'll put more up from the audio on our socials so that you can draw your own conclusions. But I don't see what other conclusion you can draw that the blokes who are having this conversation and the union itself has got a hell of a lot of explaining to do.
They will have enjoyed an almost unanimous approval rating, 100% approval rating, Fireys up until this point.
Yeah, well, it's not the Fireys themselves. It's the militant.
No, but in the
in
the context of a labour dispute with or a pay dispute with the government, 99 times out of 100, the public would fall on the side of the Fireys.
Oh yeah.
Now, that's not the case.
No, they've totally trashed their own reputation. Yep. You can't complain about the conditions you work under and the equipment you've got if you are complicit in a bid to not buy it to enhance your industrial agenda.
Yeah, good luck winning a negotiation with the government or currying favour with the public after that. 21 minutes to 9, thanks to Trust House Inspect Australia, the most qualified team in Australia for house inspection. Search House Inspect Australia. It's time for Ryan Fitzgerald. I've got a really exciting announcement before the outset of this segment too, David. Following last week's segment in which we nixed the football tips, we got feedback that suggested largely, and I paraphrase here, we don't listen to you two talentless hacks all week to not hear Fitzy's tips on a Friday. Yes. So what we're going to do is bring
that was just from our boss.
That was actually just from my mother. Fitzy, good morning to you, mate.
Sweet goodness, Pembo, he's back and he's ready to go with his tips. You don't understand the power of the Fitzgerald, mate.
Yeah, well, no, we've just got a small insight into it. It was...
And anyone that's followed me over the years would know, every single year you're going to probably finish middle of the road, but that's okay. I still give you tips, and I do it with passion.
I thought the best bit from last week's segment was your total sense of bewilderment and indignation, Fitzy, at the end when you said, we're doing the tips, and I went, nah, we're not doing the tips.
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
I was in shock. I was in absolute shock. Hey, can I just say as well, Will Goodings, well called last week, first game of football. What an upset that was for the Crows and for all the Crows fans out there to see the boys turning it around. And actually, here's something. I'm watching Making Their Mark at the moment, the AFL docu-series, where it follows around our fearless skipper, Rory Sloane. And I just watched episode 4, and unfortunately, anyone who's seen the docu-series, that's the major package of the Crows losing. And we were losing by 10 goals for a period of about 2 months there in the middle of the year. To see the look on their faces in the docu-series compared to what it was last week, you know what? I just love footy. I love footy. And, Will, congratulations. The way that you called Jimmy Rowe's first goal and to have Rowie in the box with you, that was a magic moment. Well done, mate.
It was magic, Rowie's reaction. Because the whole week we had game planned every scenario to make sure it was Rowie who would actually call it. But then in the moment, you watch the video and he taps me on the leg and starts playing with the heart rate monitor, and he was missing it.
Well, and he turned to you and he went, Will, like he was throwing it to you. What I do love is you've got the Jimmy Rose just kicked his first goal, and you've got Chris Dittmar and Dominic Cassisi.
Yeah.
Everyone was watching Rowie and not worried about their call, but it was a magic moment. Well done to the boys. I
got to say, Fitzy, I'm genuinely worried that I'm going to come in one morning and just find that there's an empty chair next to me, and that Will's been offered mega bucks by Fox Footy to go and be the next Bruce McAvaney or something like that, and then I'll be in the position of having to cast around Adelaide to see if there's any other breakfast radio show hosts who are looking to work somewhere else.
I think there's a few with interest.
Yeah, Pembo, I'll come back. I'm coming back to Adelaide.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
I'm more than happy to kick sweet goodness out of his spot, that's for sure.
Hang on. This started as a compliment and ended as a coup.
Now we're talking.
And I'm excited too. This weekend the boys are up in New South Wales, so I get to go watch the Crowies this weekend at the SCG. That's going to be, I think it's going to be one of the games of the round. It's going to be a corker game. Both teams are playing good footy. So,
well, the way Sydney beat Brisbane was very similar to the way the Crows beat Geelong, where you had an unfancied young side being given a snowball's chance in hell of beating one of the top 4 sides of the last 2 years, and they got the job done in fantastic style.
Oh, and you know what? And it's only round 1, but what I also love as well is the Melbourne media are not liking it that the 2 informed teams are Port Adelaide and the Crows at the moment. South Australia are looking all right, so we're not getting ahead of ourselves.
No.
But I did put $1,000 on the Crows to win the premiership.
Now,
what? Did you really?
No, I'm joking. No, I haven't got that ahead of myself.
It's 60-1.
Yeah. Taylor Walker, Brownlow medal, Coleman medal. Yeah, I'm going all out here.
Why not?
Now, Fitzy, we played a little bit of audio of it earlier in the week, but you were lucky enough to be able to go to the Michael Gudinski memorial service. It sounded like that would have been quite an incredible and moving experience.
It was amazing. Went for 3.5 hours. You had performances from Jimmy Barnes, Paul Kelly got up, Mark Seymour did Hold Your Arms Around Me. It was an amazing moment. Ed Sheeran got very emotional. Kylie got up and did Locomotion. I was lucky enough, a very, very good friend of mine worked under Michael in Sydney here and ran the Frontier Touring Company for quite a while, so I got to know Michael Gudinski very well. The one story I do tell is I was on a plane once, and I love sleeping on planes and going to sleep, and I went to sleep in the emergency exit for my long legs, and I had the flight attendant wake me up. And she had a full bottle of champagne and she was pouring me a drink. And I looked at her and I went, I'm sorry, love, I didn't order that. And she said, I know you didn't. That guy down there did. And it was Gudinski in first class with his tufted hair just looking over the seat. And she said, he told me to tell you to toughen up, wake up and have a drink for me. So he bought me a whole bottle of champagne and I was sharing it with the lady who was sitting next to me. And it was it just summed the bloke up. What he's done for the Australian music industry is underestimated. The amount of acts that we've got, like Bruce Springsteen and Rolling Stones, they would not have come to Australia if it wasn't for Michael Gudinski. So we owe the man so much. It was a very touching tribute.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're lucky to be there, Fitzy. Now, look, without any further ado, after the shocker that was last Friday, let's do the tips. Kicking off tonight with the very old, tired, and now Dangerfield-less Geelong Cats versus Brizzy.
Can I just say, Pembo, this is 13th versus 15th. What a crap game.
See, JJ's been dropped as well.
Oh, yeah, I know. Joshy Jenkins, I did see that. Yeah, it's going to be hard for the Cats. The only thing that's in their favour is that it's down at Geelong.
Yeah.
But see, Brisbane were really bad last week as well. Like all their big players, Lachie Neale, Brownlow medalist, he's off a bit at the moment. This is a really tough game. I'm going to go Geelong. I think Geelong will bounce back in front of a home crowd, so I'm going to go Geelong at home.
Swans, Crows.
This is tough, boys. The Crows played some great footy last week, but the Swannies I thought were even more impressive with their young blokes. At the SCG, Buddy coming back as well. It's going to be a tough one. I can't tip with my heart. I have to tip with my head, so I'm backing the Sydney Swans in the Fitzgerald Cup.
Now then the other Adelaide game, Port, the Fitzgerald Cup. They should call it that.
You should present the medal at the end of the game.
I am presenting the cup before the game, and to represent my career, I'll be dropping the cup. As well, guys.
They should get Rodney Eade to come out and shout at you as well, mate, just for old time's sake.
Someone's going to throw it to me on the lead, and it'll just go through my hands and hit me in the face.
Port v Essendon, with Orazio Fantasia playing against his old side.
Geez, they were exciting. The power. They really are at the moment. Without a doubt, they'll win that one easy. I'm going to go Port Adelaide.
Saints Demons.
Saints are a really good side. I like them. They're going to be the side that's going to surprise everyone this year. St Kilda for me.
Gold Coast North Melbourne.
Yeah, this is a shocking game as well. But Gold Coast will bounce back, and that's at home, so I'm going Gold Coast.
Hawks Richmond. Blockbuster at the MCG.
Yeah, Richmond are a good side. Too hard. Their pressure is just... it's superior at the moment, so Richmond.
Doggies, West Coast?
Doggies, I really like Western Bulldogs. They've recruited really well, so the Bulldogs will win that one.
And finally, FIVEaa at GWS.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I think this will be the upset of the round. Over there, it's pretty even at the moment, but FIVEaa at home, everyone will be picking them. I'm going to go the Giants. I think the Giants will bounce back under Leon Cameron, and their captain, Stephen Cornelio, is playing some good footy. They'll bounce back and win.
Beautiful stuff, Fitzy. We'll do it again next week.
Love you, boys. Speak to you next week.
Cheers, mate.
Ryan Fitzgerald, thanks to Trust House Inspect Australia, the most qualified team in Australia for house inspection. Search House Inspect Australia. It's 12 to 9 and time to check traffic. Thanks to the great people at Dave Potter, Australia's #1 Honda dealer, second year running, davepotterhonda.com.au.
A smash in the city south terrace not far from Pulteney Street. A two-car collision for Port Adelaide at Eastern Parade near Francis Street. Busy spots now at the north-south motorway, Fullerton Road from Green Hill Road sluggish, and through the school zone, so at Old Blair and Blythewood Roads. KFC's $4.95 fill-up is now available for delivery. It's got hot cinnamony Kentucky fried donuts too, only on the KFC app. Offer only delivered in SA and not forever until 4 p.m. That's Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Save up to 55% off discontinued Beautyrest Black mattresses and ensembles now at Harvey Norman. Now's the time to upgrade your mattress and support Australian-made manufacturing. Plus, purchase with 60 months interest-free and receive a bonus gift card up to the value of $500. Minimum financed amount $1,000. Approved applicants only. 60 equal monthly payments. Interest applies if you do not comply with terms and conditions. Fees and exclusions apply. Save up to 55% off discontinued Beautyrest Black mattresses and ensembles exclusive to Harvey Norman.
Go! I'm just popping out.
Where to?
Nowhere, just out for a drive. Are you going somewhere?
Me? No. No.
Oh. Well, you look a bit nice, that's all.
No. Just going up to the shops to get some stuff. Oh, all right. I'm going to Jarvis Toyota for another test drive.
Okay, so am I. I'll give you a lift.
Thank you.
You know, I really like Jarvis Toyota.
Jarvis Toyota. Come for a test drive. Take home the feeling. South Road, Clovelly Park.
At Spotlight, a window's what you make it. Save a massive 50% off the entire range of ready-to-hang roller blinds and 40% off the entire range of ready-to-hang eyelet curtains. So you can cool it, block it and shade it for less. Exclusions apply. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
G'day to warm nights. G'day to the great outback. G'day to seaside escapes. G'day to the open road. There's no better time to hit the road with over 40 holiday parks in South Australia and over 280 Australia-wide. G'day Parks has the greatest choice of holiday parks in the greatest destinations. Plan and book your next trip at g'dayparks.com.au and say g'day to more of Australia.
At IGA, you'll find everything you need to celebrate Easter your way. Like Australian beef rump steak, $22 per kilo. And Yarrow's Easter buns, 430 to 480 gram selected varieties, $3.50 each. Now at your local IGA. Offer ends March 30. Participating stores only.
I don't think people understand Kangaroo Island as much as they should. There's no place like an island, and when you land or when you drive off the ferry, you've just got that stretch of water in between, and let me tell you, it's a completely different mindset.
A stunning lifestyle opportunity awaits on Kangaroo Island. Generous lots at the Seaside Emu Bay development are selling fast. View the views. Go to seasideki.com.au.
9 News, weeknights at 5, nightly at 6. The switch is on to the news that's live and local. 9 News, made in Adelaide.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
8 minutes to 9. We're giving away a meat tray thanks to Jimmy at Mr. Meats in Hindmarsh. In just a moment, we've had predictions right across the morning for the meat tray. David made big prediction to start the week, or at the end last week, that the Crows would beat the Cats. Came true again. He just does this for fun now. So we've been asking you for the meat tray to make a big, bold prediction. We won't hold you to account whether it comes right or not, but we will give you a meat tray if it's a good one, and we'll do that in a few minutes' time. Right now, though, it is time to go behind closed doors thanks to Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, interstate freight distribution, warehousing and local Adelaide couriers. Call Aussie Fast 13 13 64.
And when we get behind closed...
13.95, Adelaide's 5AA. This is Tony Pilkington.
Yeah, hello everybody and welcome along to Afternoons. As we do of an afternoon, it is what it is. Let's have a look at it. What is it? It's just after 12:30, 12:30. A lot to talk about. There's all a carry-on up in Canberra. Oh, what's going on there up in Canberra? We'll have a look at that and what's going on up there in Canberra, even though Canberra is in fact south of Adelaide. Alrighty, a little bit later on talking to Frank Pangallo about the proposed new stadium in Adelaide. Boy, does Frank have a bit of what's-the-name on the liver about that. We'll see how he feels, but I can tell you he's a bit knocked off with the whole thing, the whole proposal, so we'll talk to Frank a bit later on today. Today is the birthday of William Shatner. He's, if you don't mind, he's 90 years old today. You're thinking, hang on a minute, so he can't be that old. Of course, starred as the captain of the USS Enterprise in the original series of Star Trek. Oh, that series just went on forever and a day. 3 seasons, just forever and a day for those 3 seasons. Alrighty, we're going to talk now to one half of the FIVEaa breakfast show. Simply the best breakfast show going around in town, and the one half of it is, along with Will Goodings, is David Penberthy, and he's usually asleep at this time of the day. We've woken him up and he's put the teeth back in, he's put the glasses on, he's ready to go. And I tell you what, Pembo, when you write an article, you bloody well don't hold back. And you've written an article about the goings-on up in Canberra, even though it's south of Adelaide, and you've really gone to town with it.
Yeah,
I love the article, page 67 of the opinion pages of the Sunday Mail, and the headline says, "No place for sexist grubs in politics."
Yeah,
and I reckon you've cleaned that up too. Oh, yeah, you've covered it for 30 years up there in Canberra, even though it's south of Adelaide, and you say you've met a lot of good people, good MPs and staffers that were driven by a commitment to public service and relate well to other human beings.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
you're saying that of Liberal people and Labor people and Greens and Independents,
Yeah.
and I reckon by now people are saying, oh, come on a minute or so, Pilko, are you ever going to let him talk? And then all of a sudden, if you don't mind, in the next paragraph, you go on to say that the people up there in Canberra, even though it's south, some of them are psychopaths, and in some cases deviants, and they're deceitful, not right in the head, and most of them are spectacularly ill-equipped to deal with people of the opposite sex. Oh, what do you really think?
Well, you know, people are going to be kind enough to pay $2 for a newspaper.
Alrighty, out of time.
I don't know if that was a sketch or a transcript. Oh, no, I love going on with Pooka. I've done it a couple of times now.
On with the legend himself.
It's good. I'm never asleep in the middle of the day. Normally I've just woken up again.
Yeah, you sleep straight after the show,
Yeah,
don't you?
I'll be asleep
so
in about
Leon,
6 minutes.
You can't go on with Leon.
No, I never go on with Leon.
No.
Because I'm asleep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, it's
Alrighty.
I'm glad we established that. 4 minutes to 9. We're giving away a meat tray in just a moment.
Hop into Cheapest Chips for an excellent Easter.
Cheapest chips.
You'll love our yummy chocolate Easter bunnies and eggs. Whether your favourite is Violet Crumble, Fruit Chocks, or just plain old Chocky, there's something for everybody. Plus, don't miss our huge range of Easter toys, craft, decorations, and gift ideas, including Paw Patrol and Barbie boxed Easter gift sets. Cheapest Chips has everything you need for a happy Cheapster. I mean, Easter. Live cheaper every day at Cheapest Chips.
At Harvey Norman, your technology specialists save $100 on the great value Asus 14-inch laptop. Now just $348. Acer Aspire 5 laptop with the latest 11th gen Intel Core i5 processor. Now $697, save $300. Or the ultra-portable HP Pavilion laptop, designed for exceptional entertainment, with an 11th gen Intel Core i7 processor, only $1,298. Now at Harvey Norman.
Sold by McGain again. And right now they're selling really quickly. So our advice is get along to these open inspections on Sunday from 11 to 11:30. Zoe Ball is opening Unit 10 to Crosby Street, South Brighton. Just one street back from the Esplanade and a short walk to the local park and playground. This second-storey unit offers 2 bedrooms, open-plan lounge, neat kitchen, plus a balcony with sea views. 349 to 369K.
I'll tell you what, that is a good price for South Brighton, beautiful part of town. And how's this? Also Sunday from 11 to 11:30, Mike Dobbin will be opening 7 Madeline Close, Morphett Vale. Now, this is an absolute steal. This 2010 built family home is beautifully presented, 4 bedrooms, formal lounge, open plan living and dining, plus a large modern kitchen. There's ducted heating and cooling and a big undercover entertaining area with a double garage, $495 to $525K.
For all the info, take a look at these properties and all the McGain listings at realestate.com.au.
Get a Nissan Qashqai with Apple CarPlay and a standard 5-year warranty. Plus, when you finance with Nissan Future Value, receive up to 3 years free service. Only at Nissan. T's and C's apply. Approved applicants only.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
2 minutes to 9, we're giving away a meat tray.
Oh, we
Late chance to steal it, though. Aaron in Summerton Park has called in with a big prediction. Good morning to you, Aaron.
Yeah, good morning, boys. 5AA Morning Breakfast Show 2022, the Dave and Fitchy Show.
Oh, hang on. Don't think I like that one. You know I do half the meat tray Friday voting, Aaron.
Yeah, you might have cost yourself 3 votes there, Aaron.
Oh, I reckon you've unfortunately just missed it. I can assure you were very close to winning a meat tray.
Oh, imagine that. Imagine working with Fitzy. It would be good fun. I'm not saying...
Listen, don't imagine it too hard. You know I'm sitting right here.
You know I'm actually here right now? No.
Daydreaming about other partners.
No, I'm not.
Unbelievable.
What was Jimmy Carter's term for that? Lust in the heart. He got himself in trouble when he admitted to that.
You keep your lust to yourself, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't mean in a lustful sense. As much as I love Fitzy.
Oh, you mean just working with him? Oh, that's all right then.
That's right. What do you think? I'm a Liberal Party staffer. Now, never make jokes about that.
Yeah, that's
disgusting.
Right, that's right. I'm concerned for your desk.
Look, there can only be one. There can only be one winner. And Scott from Glonga, just with the excellent matchsticks in the beard prediction, along with Ash Barty to win the French Open. That'd be nice if that happened, wouldn't it? So Scott, I think Scott's a multiple enterer and never winner of Meat Tray Friday. So congratulations, Scott. You got your hands on the tray from Jimmy's Meats.
Big thanks to Jimmy at Mr. Meats in Hindmarsh. Big part of the 5AA family. Jimmy and Kathy do such a wonderful job. 43 Grange Road at West Hindmarsh. Thanks to all the entries. Have a wonderful weekend, folks, and we'll catch you Monday morning at 6.
See you then.